Chapter 2584 Metallic Life Form. This giant ape was astonishingly powerful, and its entire body was made of metal. It was extremely strong and immortal. Whether it was in terms of defense or strength, it was extremely terrifying. "It's Serpa," said other creatures of the same level. This giant ape had a cultivation base of second-level Void D realm. However, its ability was so powerful. "Serpa," said the other second-level Void D realm powerhouses that Lu Ming had encountered before. That roar. The giant ape retreated and let out a furious roar before charging at Lu Ming again. "Kill!" Lu Ming took out his divine weapon sword and charged at the giant ape. Clang, clang. Lu Ming's combat sword kept clashing with the silver giant ape. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 moves. Sparks flew everywhere where they collided. In the end, the giant silver ape was not Lu Ming's match. Even if Lu Ming did not activate the double combat strength of the battle formula, he could still suppress the giant silver ape with the additional combat strength of the battle formula, the cultivation base of a 3-star celestial, the arch, and his physical strength. The giant silver ape kept retreating. Xian Yanqing, Xian Yanjuan, and Tong Shi did not make a move. They formed an encirclement and stood at the side to be on guard, afraid that other strong pract 1. Toniers or desolate beasts would attack them. Clang, clang, clang. Lu Ming and the silver giant ape exchanged dozens of moves in a row. Finally, Lu Ming seized the opportunity and cut off the ape's head. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. This silver giant ape was really hard to kill. Fortunately, this silver ape doesn't have much intelligence. Otherwise, it would be even more difficult to deal with. Lu Ming sighed. It's said that there are intelligent metal life forms in the primeval universe. They're an extremely powerful race and are ranked among the top among the countless races in the primeval universe. Tong Shi said, "There really is a metallic life form with intelligence." Lu Ming was secretly amazed. Then, Lu Ming broke open the chest of the giant silver ape and took out a round piece of metal. This was the giant silver APC's beast core. A second-level Void D realm metal beast core could be sold for 10 divine crystals. An ordinary first-level virtual D level metal beast core was worth 5 divine crystals. A second-level virtual D level 1 was worth 10 divine crystals, and a third-level virtual D level 1 was worth 20 divine crystals. As the beast core's grade increased, its value also continued to double. As long as he could kill 100 second-level virtual D level wild beasts, he would be able to get back the rent of the Starry Sky battleship. The rest would be his profit. "Let's gather the beast cores first." "Well, split them equally," Lu Ming suggested. "All right." Tong Shi nodded. Then, everyone continued to move forward. Not long after they left, 2 figures flashed and 2 middle-aged men appeared in the air. "It's Tong Shi, Seer, the heaven's pride of the Jingtian army, Tong Shi Seer." "Haha, I didn't expect Tong Shi to dare to come here, and there are 2 other girls." "Be more serious. Let's go back and report to His Excellency. Ask him to send experts to capture these people and play with them for a while before killing them." "Let's go." With a flash, the 2 middle-aged men disappeared. Lu Ming and the group continued to move forward. After a while, they encountered a first-tier virtual D level metal desolate beast, which was easily killed by Tong Shi. Lu Ming could tell that Tong Shi's cultivation had reached the peak of first-level Void D realm and was not far from the second-level Void D realm. Moreover, her battle prowess was extremely shocking, far surpassing experts of the same level. Back then, when Lu Ming was a 2-star heavenly emperor, he had activated the battle character formula to double his combat power, but he had only managed to tie with Tong Shi. Now, Lu Ming knew that the divine power Long Shi controlled was king-grade divine power. She was a genius. Roar. As they went deeper into the forest, they encountered more and more metallic desolate beasts. However, most of them were at the first or second level of the Void D realm. As long as there weren't many of them, they would be easily dealt with. Not long after, they had already killed 15 first-level virtual D-level wild beasts and 5 second-level virtual D-level metal wild beasts. Thump. Room. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a few giant wolves with bodies as black as ink ran out from a canyon in front of them. This giant wolf's entire body seemed to be made of black iron. It was 10 meters tall and 20 meters long, and it emitted a terrifying aura. Not good. There are 2 third-level void D realm existences. Tong Shi Air's expression changed drastically. There were a total of 4 giant wolves. 2 of them were at the 3rd level of the void D realm, and the other 2 were at the 2nd level of the void D realm. Let's quickly retreat and rush out. Tong Shi Er shouted. If there was only one at the 3rd level of the void D realm, they could still fight it out if they joined forces. However, there were 2 at the 3rd level of the void D realm and 2 at the 2nd level of the void D realm. They were in danger. No need, it's a good time to fight. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He hadn't used his full strength yet. Moreover, he was very clear about Xian Nianking's combat strength. 2 was no problem for him to deal with a 3rd level void D realm. In addition, Xian Nianjin's strength was definitely not weaker than Xian Nianking's. A battle? Lu Ming, don't tell me you have a breakthrough. Tong Shi was stunned. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. All right then, let's have a battle. Tong Shi gritted her teeth and said. Back then, before Lu Ming had broken through, his combat strength was already on par with hers. Now that he had broken through, it should not be a problem for him to deal with a 3rd level virtual D-level giant. Wolf. If she used all her strength to tie down a giant wolf, she might be able to fight it. However, as soon as she finished speaking, Xian Yanjuan dashed out toward a 3rd-tier virtual D-level wolf. Not good. Tong Shi Air's expression changed. She felt that Xian Yanjuan was too impulsive. Xian Yanjin's cultivation was only at 1st level ethereal D realm. No matter how strong he was at most about the same level as her. It was too dangerous to rush out like this. However, before she could stop him, Xian Yanjuan had already made his move. Holy light emanated from her body as she clenched her fist in the air. A holy sword of light formed and then slashed down. A 3rd-tier virtual D-level giant wolf howled and pounced at Zik Yanjuan. Its giant claws swiped down, creating a terrifying hurricane. However, when Xian Yanjin's sword light collided with the huge wave's claw, the result was unexpected. Bang! The giant wall wailed and retreated. A deep sword mark appeared on its metal claw, almost cutting off its entire claw. So strong? Tong Shi was dumbfounded. Buzz! Xian Yanjuan gained the upper hand one move. He moved and attacked the wolf again. His sword glowed and he slashed out a dozen times in an instant. Each strike was faster and stronger than the last. The wall was forced to retreat and its metal body was left with deep sword marks. The other 3 wolves roared and pounced on Xian Yanjuan. Xian Yanqing moved his body and charged towards another 3rd-level void D-realm giant wolf. He waved his palm and forced the giant wall to retreat. Attack, die! Lu Ming shouted. His body flashed and he charged out, killing the 2 second-level void D-level giant wolves. Tong Shi seemed to wake up from a dream and also charged out. Xian Yanjuan and Xian Yanging's combat strength completely suppressed the giant wolves at the 3rd level of the void D realm. They killed the 2 giant wolves in just a few moves. IND 23. Chapter 2585 People from the Yuanluo Palace. After Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan killed the 2 3rd-level virtual D-level giant wolves, they swayed their bodies and slashed their long swords across the sky. The 2 second-level virtual D-level giant wolves that were fighting Lu Ming and the others were also cut in half. This battle strength. He's actually this strong? Tong Shi looked at Xian Yinqing and Xian Yinjuan with shock in her eyes. Xian Yinqing and Xian Yinjuan were only at ethereal D realm level 1, which was the same as her. She thought that they could be strong, but now she realized that she was wrong. She estimated that Zik Nianqing or Xian Yanjin's combat strength was enough to fight a 4th level Void D realm existence. He was only at the 1st level of the Void D realm, but he could fight against a 4th level Void D realm martial artist. Sacred grade divine power. They must have mastered the sacred grade divine power. Tong Shi-o was amazed. At the same time she sighed. Lao Ming was already abnormal enough. She did not expect that the people around him were also abnormal. Lu Ming smiled. With Xian Yanging and Xian Yinjuan helping him, he was happy to have an easy time. Then, they took out the beast cores of the 4 giant wolves. They were worth 60 divine crystals, which was quite a lot. After taking out the beast core, they continued to move forward. There weren't any strong wild castes in the forest. After walking for a while, they didn't encounter any beasts above 4th level Void D realm. The strongest beasts they encountered were only at 3rd level Void D realm. With Xian Yanqing and Xian Yinjuan around, he and Tong Shi had an easy time. Little Qing and Xian Yanjin's combat skills are amazing. Along the way, even Lu Ming was secretly sighing. Lu Ming himself was considered a natural combat genius. His combat awareness was very strong, but he was still not as good as Xian Yinqing and Xian Yinjuan. The battle techniques of the two were perfect, and they could defeat the enemy with the least amount of strength. Even if his Shen power was about the same as the two of them, he would not be their match. Lu Ming guessed that this might be related to their experience in their previous lives. As time went by, their harvest was getting bigger and bigger. They were about to earn back the 1,000 divine crystals they had borrowed from the Starry Sky battleship. The extra was a net profit. Just as Lu Ming and the group were hunting the dire beasts, there was a mountain peak some distance away from them. Some people were gathered on one of the peaks. These people had all concealed their auras and were very careful. The 2 burly men who had discovered Lu Ming's tracks earlier appeared on the mountain peak and reported to a bald burly man. What? Tong Shi from the righteous army has come to the myriad gold star. The bald man's eyes were filled with a cold light. That's right. Moreover, they only sent for people. One of them replied. For people? What's their cultivation level? The bald man asked. Tong Shi's cultivation is still at the 1st level of the Void D realm. There are 2 other women who are also at the 1st level of the Void D realm. The man has the ability to kill a 2nd level Void D realm. One of them bowed and reported. They're all at the 1st level of the Void D realm. Good. This time, we'll capture Tong Shi and give her to young master to play with. We'll also capture the other 2 women and let us enjoy ourselves. As for the man, well, just kill him. Righteous army, you'll die sooner or later if you dare to go against the Yuan Luo Palace. The bald man sneered. These people were from the Yuan Luo Palace. The 3 of you are all at the 3rd level of the Void D realm. You're more than enough to deal with Tong Shi and the others. Go and bring them here. The bald man ordered 3 of the brawny men in black armor. Yes. The 3 black-armored men cupped their fists. Wait a moment. Suddenly, the bald man shouted, in order to be foolproof, Old Man Shao, you go with them. All right, that's fine too. An old man with a face full of wrinkles chuckled. Although he felt that 3 3rd-level Void D realm existences were more than enough to deal with a few juniors, he was a 4th-level Void D realm existence. However, the bald burly man was at the 5th level of the Void D realm. He was the strongest among them, so he couldn't reject him directly. Old Man Shao and the 3 black-armored men flashed and left. The bald man's eyes looked at the bottom of a cliff in front of him. At the bottom of the cliff, there was a cave. From time to time, there would be golden light bursting out. Near the cave, there was a bird's nest, and in the bird's nest, there was a giant metal eagle. When the bald man looked at the cave, his eyes were burning. But when he saw the giant eagle, his expression became serious. Treasure, treasure, I must get it. The greed in the bald man's eyes became even stronger. They were from the Yuanluo Palace. Not long ago, they had joined forces to come to the myriad gold star to hunt dire beasts and obtain their beast cores. However, 2 days ago, a few people from the Yuanluo Palace accidentally entered the cave and found a treasure. It was a metal ball with spirituality. When they were about to take the metal ball away, the giant metal eagle appeared and killed a few of them. Only one person managed to escape and report the news to him. His heart immediately burned with excitement. A metal ball with intelligence must be a rare treasure. He immediately brought people over, but he stopped when he saw the giant metal eagle. Although he had the cultivation base of a 5th level ethereal G.O.D. realm expert, that giant metal eagle was a 7th level ethereal G.O.D. realm expert. If they charged at it, they would definitely die. So, he and his men stayed here to wait for the metal eagle to leave. They wanted to enter the cave and take the spiritual metal ball. After that, he heard news from Tong Shi, Lu Ming, and the rest. Naturally, Lu Ming and the rest had no idea about all this. They went deep into the mountain forest and hunted desolate beasts, their harvest getting bigger and bigger. They all smiled. At this rate, they would only need to hunt for a while on the myriad gold star to earn about 10,000 divine crystals catch. Who is it? Just as they were walking through the forest, looking for wild beasts to kill, Xian Yanjuan suddenly looked in a certain direction. Following that, Lu Ming and Xian Yanking's gazes also shifted in that direction. Little girl, your spiritual sense is quite sharp. A sneer was heard. Then, 4 figures flashed in that direction and appeared. These 4 people were Old Man Xiao from the Yuanluo Palace and the 3 strong men in black armor. You guys? They are from the Yuanluo Palace. Tong Shi Er's expression suddenly changed. Not bad? Old Man Xiao laughed coldly. I's long and narrow eyes swept across Tong Shi, Xian Yanqing, and Xian Yanjuan. When his eyes swept over Xian Yanging and Xian Yanjuan, his eyes were burning with a fiery flame. Tong Shi, young Master Kong Long really misses you. If I take you down and present you to the young master will definitely reward you handsomely, Old Man Xiao licked his lips, and a powerful aura emanated from his body. 4th level void G.O.D. realm. Tong Shier's face turned pale. 22. Chapter 2586 Kill them all. Old Man Xiao's body exuded a powerful aura of a 4th level void G.D. realm. At the same time, the 3 burly men in black armor also exuded auras of a 3rd level void G.D. realm. The terrifying aura was like a violent hurricane, pressing towards Lu Ming and the rest. Leave this old man to me. At this moment, Xian Yanjuan spoke, a look of disgust flashing across her eyes. Just now, when Old Man Xiao looked at her with that kind of gaze, she already had the thought of killing him. With a wave of his hand, Xian Yanjuan broke through Old Man Xiao's aura suppression and walked toward him. Old Man Xiao's eyes narrowed slightly. To be able to break through his aura so easily, it was not easy. Little girl, since you are in such a hurry, I'll fulfill your wish, Old Man Xiao laughed sinisterly. He reached out with his withered hand and a huge black hand appeared, grabbing towards Xian Yanjuan. Xian Yanjuan's band was filled with holy light, which turned into a sword of holy light. With a slash, it cut Old Man Xiao's hand in half. Then, the long sword trembled and turned into sword shadows, shrouding Old Man Xiao. Old Man Xiao was shocked. Xian Yanjuan's strength was far beyond his imagination. It was not the combat strength of a 1st-tier void G.O.D. realm. The divine power in his body burst out as a dragon-headed walking stick appeared in his hand. He attacked Xian Yanjuan like a storm. However, Xian Yanjuan's long sword trembled, and sword shadows emerged one after another. In an instant, hundreds of sword shadows appeared and slashed at Old Man Xiao from all directions. Each sword seemed to cut at Old Man Xiao's flaws. Old Man Xiao's attack had just burst out, but before it was even halfway out, it was extinguished. He could only retreat to block. Xian Yanjuan followed him, and his sword light expanded again, enveloping his opponent. And it? Old Man Xiao roared. He was so aggrieved that he almost vomited blood. His divine power was definitely not weaker than Xian Yanjin's, but he was completely suppressed by Xian Yanjuan in the battle. Zik Nianjin's sword light had completely controlled the situation and the rhythm. He couldn't use his full strength at all. He had never encountered such a situation before. He was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. This level of control. Tong Shi was even more amazed. Xian Yanjin's control was so strong that he had the entire battle under control. The strength of her Shin power was similar to Old Man Xiao, but in the battle, the situation was one-sided. This was the result of battle techniques and experience. Only with great power could one achieve this. Zik Nianjuan looked to be about the same age as her, but he was able to control the rhythm of the battle so well that she couldn't help but be amazed. All of you, attack together and kill her, kill her. Old Man Xiao bellowed and called the 3 black-armored brawny men to attack. A long spear appeared in each of the 3 black-armored men's hands. They circulated their divine power and charged at Zik Nianjuan. Your opponent is me, Xian Yanqing said coldly. His figure flashed and he rushed out. The sword in his hand slashed violently and enveloped the 3 black-armored men. Clang clang, clang. After 3 consecutive collisions, the 3 black-armored brawny men were forced back. Little Qing, leave one for me. Lu Ming also rushed out and continuously cast the battle character formula. Boom. The double combat power of the battle character formula was activated. Lu Ming's combat strength increased sharply. He took out a divine weapon sword and slashed at one of the burly men in black armor. Ever since Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through, he had not gone all out in the battle. It was a good time for him to spar with the strong man in black armor. Xian Yanqing retracted his sword and gave Lu Ming a strong man in black armor. Clang. Lu Ming's combat sword slashed at the burly man in black armor. There was a loud boom and both of them swayed. 3rd level Void G. Oh, D Realm is indeed powerful. Again. Lu Ming took a step forward and rushed forward again, launching a storm-like attack. Clang, clang. Lu Ming and the burly man in black armor were engaged in an intense battle. On the other hand, it was a one-sided battle between Xian Yanqing and the other 2. Xian Yanqing's combat strength wasn't much weaker than Xian Yanjin's, so it was easy for him to deal with 2 3rd-level Void G. Oh, D-Realm cultivators. Tong Xie stood at the side in a daze. She realized that she couldn't interfere in such a battle at all, and there was no need for her to intervene. After a few dozen moves, the 2 black-armored men were killed, and blood splattered everywhere. How is that possible? How did this happen? Old Man Xiao's heart trembled. He simply couldn't believe it. Lu Ming's cultivation realm was similar to the information he had received previously. However, their combat strength was completely unrelated to their cultivation realm. It was too terrifying. A 1st-level ethereal G. Oh, D-Realm expert could actually suppress him. Sacred-grade divine power. Peerless genius. Retreat. Retreat. Old Man Xiao was terrified. Ah wanted to run away, but he realized that he couldn't escape from Xian Yanjin's swordlight. He panicked and became even more vulnerable. Not long after, Zik Nianjin's sword left a deep wound on his body, almost cutting him in half. Xian Yanjin's terrifying divine power was running around in his body, making Old Man Xiao vomit blood and weaken even more. As such, he was even less of a match for Xian Yanjuan. Within 2 moves, Old Man Xiao's eyes were cut off by Zik Nianjin's sword light. Ah! Old Man Xiao screamed and attacked crazily. Old man, he'll send you on your way, Xian Yanjuan said coldly. The sword light slashed again, and the next moment, Old Man Xiao's head flew off. A 4th-level Void G. Oh, D-Realm existence had been killed. Old Man Xiao's eyes were wide open. He died with his eyes wide open. I'll never thought that he, a dignified 4th-level Void G. Oh, D-Realm existence, would actually die at the hands of a 1st-level Void G. Oh, D-Realm, the brawny man who was fighting with Lu Ming was almost scared to death when he saw that the others were killed. He panicked and Lu Ming seized the opportunity to kill him with one slash. At this point, the 4 experts of the Yuanluo Palace had all been killed. My cultivation is still too weak. Lu Ming sighed. Lu Ming's weakness was his cultivation. He was only a 3-star heavenly emperor now. If he broke through to the Voiji realm, it would be a piece of cake for him to kill these clowns. The few of them kept the storage rings of Old Man Shao and the other 3. It seems like the Yuanluo Palace also has people on the Myriad Gold Star. I guess these 4 are only a part of them. Tong Shi said with a serious expression. Let's leave this place first. Be careful in our future actions. Lu Ming said. In a flash, the 4 of them left the place. After that, they did not hunt any wild beasts. They ran for more than 100,000 miles before stopping and continuing to search for wild beasts to hunt. In the blink of an eye, another day passed, and they arrived at a mountain area. Why aren't there any dire beasts in this area? Tong Shi said in a low voice. Lu Ming, Xian Yanging, and Xian Yanjuan nodded. They had patrolled the area earlier and had not encountered any dire beasts. This area was very quiet. 3 pounds. Chapter 2587, B. In Oriole, this area can't be the territory of some powerful dire beast, right? Xian Yanqing suddenly said. Lu Ming and Tong Shi's expressions changed. This was very likely. Many powerful desolate beasts had the concept of territories. Some powerful desolate beasts would occupy a region. Within this region, other desolate beasts would not dare to stay. We have to be careful, Lu Ming said in a low voice. Immediately, they retracted their auras and wanted to leave this place in the direction they came from. There are many creatures on that mountain, and they aren't metal, but flesh and blood. At this moment, Xian Yanjuan looked at a mountain peak not far away. A living being with flesh and blood means that they are like us, outsiders. Lu Ming said. He didn't doubt Zik Nianjin's senses. Xian Yanjuan had completely awakened the memories of her past life. Her methods were simply unfathomable. Let's go take a look, Xian Yanqing suggested. The group nodded and carefully made their way to the other mountain peak. Not long after, they ascended another mountain peak, found a hidden place, and looked ahead. They immediately saw a group of living beings. There were about 20 people, and among them, there were creatures with a single horn and snake people with scales on their skin. There were at least 6 or 7 races among the 20 people. Some of them were wearing black battle armor, which was exactly the same as the 3 black-armored brawny men they had met before. The people from the Yuanluo Palace. Tong Shi muttered. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Xian Nianjin's eyes glinted coldly. They realized that the people from the Yuanluo Hall were also very careful. They hid in the dark and looked in other directions. They did not notice Lu Ming's group at all. They followed the direction of the Yuanluo Palace's gaze and saw a giant metal eagle at the bottom of a cliff. In addition, there was also a cave. From time to time, golden light would spread out from the cave. Could it be that there's a treasure in that cave? Lu Ming and the few of them were smart people. Upon seeing this situation, they thought about it and understood the general situation. It was obvious that there were treasures in the cave. However, there was a terrifying giant metal eagle guarding the cave. The people from the Yuanluo Palace didn't dare to make a move. They were hiding there, waiting for the giant metal eagle to leave. Then let's be the Oriole. Lu Ming revealed a smile and the others nodded. After that, they also started to wait here. Time flew by and 3 days passed. Said Buzz and NBSP whoosh. At this time, the giant metal eagle cried out. It had been lying on the ground all this time, but now it stood up and looked around with its cold eyes. Then, it flapped its wings and soared into the sky. Lu Ming and the rest quickly hid in the dark. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. This giant metal eagle was definitely extremely terrifying. If he was discovered, he would be finished. Soon, the metal eagle soared into the sky and flew into the distance, disappearing in the blink of an eye. At this moment, The people of the Yuanluo Palace turned into streaks of light and rushed toward the broken cliff. What should we do? Tong Xue looked at Lu Ming and the other two. There were many experts in the Yuanluo Palace. No matter how strong Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan were, they wouldn't be a match for them. Kill with a borrowed knife. No, kill with a borrowed bird. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Tong Xue's eyes lit up. At this moment, more than 20 people from the Yuanluo Palace had already rushed to the bottom of the cliff. They left a few people to guard the entrance of the cave while the others rushed into the cave. You guys wait for me here. Lu Ming left the mountain peak in a flash. After he descended, he took out a combat sword and injected his ruler's power into it. Buzz! A shocking sword light shot up into the sky and pierced through the firmament. It could be seen from far and away. Then, the sword ray slashed towards the cave. Deep in it. The few people guarding outside the cave were instantly enraged. They all moved to block the sword ray. Boom, boom, boom. The energy was unrestrained, and the sword chi soared to the sky. Alter Lu Ming slashed, he turned and left. His goal was not to deal with the people from the Yuanluo Palace, but to create a commotion and lure the giant eagle back. Now that he had achieved his goal, he naturally slipped away. Buzz! In the distance, a deafening cry resounded through the firmament. The giant metal eagle had obviously seen the sword light and returned at top speed. Furious roars came from the cave, and the people from the Yuanluo Palace rushed out of the cave. The leader, the bald man, roared in anger. Who is it? A cold, killing intent burst out from the bald man's body as he looked at the guards. It's a young man, one of them said. Buzz! An ear-piercing screech was heard. In the distance, a black dot appeared. The giant eagle had returned. Let's go! The bald man roared and ran away. Al was furious. He had just entered the cave and had not even gotten his hands on the treasure when he was alarmed by the return of the giant eagle. Now, he could only escape. More than 20 experts from the Yuanluo Palace were running for their lives. Buzz! The ear-piercing sound was getting closer and closer. The giant metal eagle was too fast. Its wingspan was 100 meters wide. Like a flash of lightning, it chased after the people from the Yuanluo Palace. Ah! In the distance, a shrill scream and an angry roar could be heard. Let's go! Lu Ming and the other three seized the opportunity and rushed toward the cave. They didn't have much time, and they had to seize the opportunity to take the treasure in the cave and leave. If they waited for the giant eagle to return, they would be in danger. Like 4 streams of light, they rushed to the entrance of the cave. Without any hesitation, they rushed in. Inside the cave, there was a sage that was 100 meters long. They rushed through the sage and appeared in a huge cave. When they rushed into the cave, they were stunned. The cave was filled with all kinds of metals of different colors, which were bright and resplendent. Moreover, many of the metals were shaped like plants, and metal flowers bloomed. But other than that, there was nothing else. All of a sudden, Lu Ming noticed that one of the walls was slightly different. There was a spot that had a different color from the wall. Lu Ming walked over. When Lu Ming walked over, the different color on the wall actually started to wriggle. It was actually a pool of liquid metal. It did not move at all earlier, but it only started to move when Lu Ming walked in. The liquid metal was shining and wriggling quickly. It turned into a metal ball and flew in another direction. A metal ball? The 4 of them were very surprised. Could it be that the treasure was this metal ball? Catch it? The 4 of them didn't hesitate and attacked. They charged at the metal ball from 4 directions. 22-23. Chapter 2587 Sentient Metal Ball Buzz. Buzz. The metal ball was astonishingly fast. It was like a bolt of golden lightning, flying around the cave. The 4 of them were unable to stop it. Stay here. Lu Ming cast the way of domination, enveloping the area and grabbing at the metal ball. The metal ball seemed to be a little afraid. In a flash, it quickly retreated. Xian Yanjuan was on the other side. She reached out and was about to grab the metal ball. However, The metal ball suddenly expanded and turned into a huge ball with a diameter of several meters. It collided with Xie Nianjin's palm. With a loud boom, Zik Nianjin's body trembled and he was forced to retreat. What shocking strength! Everyone's heart shook. Although Xie Nianjin's cultivation base was only at the first level of the Void D realm, her divine power was strong enough to fight against a fourth-level Void D realm powerhouse. However, she was still knocked back by the metal ball. However, the metal ball was also pushed back by Zik Nianjuan and rushed towards Tong Shi Ti. Tong Shi Er's expression changed. She did not have Xie Nianjin's strength. A long sword appeared in her hand, and she stabbed at the metal ball. However, a shocking scene appeared at that moment. A huge mouth suddenly appeared on the smooth surface of the metal ball. The golden metal formed fangs, and when it opened its mouth, it bit towards Tong Shi Er's sword. With a crack, Tong Shi Er's long sword was directly bitten in half. The front part was swallowed by the metal ball, and it began to eat it with a ka-bang sound. Lu Ming and the few of them looked at each other. Tong Shi Er's longsword was a divine artifact. Although it was only a level 1 low-grade divine artifact, it was still extremely hard. Now, it had actually been bitten off by the metal ball and was even eating it. This metal ball, how could it be so abnormal? What made them even more speechless was that at this moment, a pair of eyes had actually appeared on the metal ball's mouth. The eyes were squinted, and it seemed to be enjoying it very much. A lump of metal with intelligence. The same thought flashed through their minds. A treasure, this was definitely a treasure. A lump of metal that actually had intelligence was definitely extraordinary. Buzzard. Everyone moved again, pouncing towards the metal ball. However, this metal ball was very slippery and smart. It seemed to have noticed that Tong Shi Er's combat strength was the weakest among the four, and it directly rushed towards her. Tong Shi Er no longer dared to take out her divine weapon to attack. She could only circulate her divine power and wrap it around the metal ball. However, the power of the metal ball was extremely shocking. With one hit, it knocked away Tong Shi Er's divine power. Tong Shi Er's delicate body trembled, and she was also sent flying, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Her strength was not enough to resist this metal ball. However, Lu Ming arrived just in time. With a wave of his hand, the power of domination formed a huge hand and grabbed the metal ball. The metal ball seemed to be extremely afraid of the ruler's power. Its eyes were filled with fear, and it quickly retreated. Lu Ming, this metal ball seems to be afraid of your dominator's power. They'll trap it and you grab it. Zik Nianxing shouted. His body was covered in black light. Black lotuses appeared one after another and pressed toward the metal ball. On the other side, Xian Yinjuan also attacked with all his might. Snow-white lotus flowers appeared and pressed down on the metal ball. Buzz! The metal ball rushed towards Zik Nianxing and collided with the black lotus. Bang! Bang! The lotus flowers kept exploding. However, after they exploded, more lotus flowers appeared. The metal ball was directly blocked. Lu Ming rushed over and grabbed with both hands. His dominator's power formed a large net and enveloped the metal ball. The metal ball was directly enveloped by the ruler's powers NCT. It tried to break free from the net, but strangely, it couldn't break free. Lu Ming began to shrink the dominator's power and the big net became smaller. In the end, the metal ball became well-behaved and stayed there without moving. Finally, Lu Ming grabbed the metal ball in his hand. It's so heavy! When Lu Ming grabbed the metal ball, he almost dropped it on the ground. This was extremely shocking. Although all matter in the primeval universe could not be compared to the heaven realm and the primordial realm, and its mass was many times greater, Lu Ming almost lost his grip on this metal ball. Its weight was estimated to be several mountains heavier. Just as Lu Ming was about to take a closer look, a sharp spike suddenly emerged from the metal ball. This spike was extremely sharp. It pierced through the power of domination that Lu Ming had covered his hand with and his skin. A stream of blood flowed onto the metal ball. Lu Ming was shocked and almost threw the metal ball away. Fortunately, the metal ball did not continue to move. The stream of blood seeped into the metal ball and disappeared. A dark red light flashed on the surface of the metal ball. At this moment, Lu Ming actually felt that the metal ball had become lighter, as if it had no weight at all. Lu Ming was a little stunned. Lu Ming, it seems that you're fated with it and it has recognized you as its master, Xian Yanjuan said as he walked over. There was a hint of envy in his eyes. There were not many things that could make Xian Yanjuan envious. You've recognized me as your master? Lu Ming was also in a daze. If I'm not wrong, this should be a kind of metal life form born from the origin of the world. This kind of metal life form is rare even in the vast primal universe. It's very precious. Now that it has recognized you as its master, it means that it's fated with you. If you train it well in the future, it might be a great help to you, Xian Yanjuan said. On the side, Xian Yanqing revealed a happy expression. Tong Xia looked envious. However, she did not help much this time. Others who captured the metal ball. She could not say anything. Let's go, we need to leave this place, Lu Ming said. Was Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and that they didn't have much time and couldn't delay any longer. If that giant eagle returned, they would be in trouble. Immediately, they rushed out of the cave and ran in the opposite direction of the Origin Luo Palace. Soon they disappeared from the cave. Not long after Lu Ming and the rest had left, a piercing screech was heard. The wind whistled and the giant metal eagle had returned. It landed at the entrance of the cave and seemed to sense something. Then, it let out an angry cry. Buzz. WD. Bawa. The giant metal eagle seemed to have gone mad. It flapped its wings and slashed at everything it touched, be it metal plants or metal ground. Everything exploded and turned into pieces. Buzz. Then, it soared into the sky and then dove down again, wreaking havoc on the ground. A 7th level Void G. Oh. D-Realm Metal Eagle was truly terrifying and had shocking destructive power. It destroyed everything nearby madly before it gradually flew into the distance and disappeared. After the Metal Eagle left, a figure flashed and appeared at the entrance of the cave. It was the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace. He rushed into the cave, but soon he rushed out of the cave. Who is it? The bald burly man roared, his face extremely ferocious. 23. Chapter 2588 Weird Metal Ball. The bald man from the Yuan Luo Palace was furious. He understood that they had been scammed miserably. There had been more than 20 of them, but they had been chased by the metal eagle and killed along the way. Almost all of them had died, and he was the only one who had survived. Furthermore, when he rushed into the cave to take a look, the treasure had already disappeared. It was obvious that someone had taken the treasure away from the cave while the giant eagle was chasing them. If I find out who it is, it'll definitely grind your bones to dust and die. Without the bald man let out an angry roar and then left in a flash. Burial place. They kept running until they left the forest, crossed a plain, and entered the next forest. Only then did they let out a long breath. This fellow. Lu Ming realized that the metal ball was soft and sprawled on his shoulder like a pool of liquid metal. Lu Ming did not pay much attention to them. He joined forces with Xian Yanqing, Xian Yanjuan, and Tong Xi, to resume their hunt for desolate beasts and beast cores. Bang! Bang! 2 huge metal bears appeared in front of him. Their auras were very shocking. They were both at the 3rd level of the Void G. D realm. This forest was even more dangerous than the previous one. They had just entered and they had already encountered 2 3rd level Void G. D realm existences. I'll do it. Lu Ming rushed over directly. At the same time, he continuously triggered the battle formula. After a few times, the double combat power of the battle formula was triggered. Lu Ming and the 2 giant metal bears were engaged in an intense battle. He could only train himself in great battles. A 3rd level Void G. D was just right. For Lu Ming. The giant metal bear was about 10 meters tall and had immense strength. With a slap, the wind howled and the wind raged. Lu Ming blocked with the divine weapon sword and slashed out a few times metal bear. For a time, the 2 sides were locked in a fierce battle. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan didn't make a move, they just stood on the side. Bang, bang. Succession, fighting the giant Lu Ming and the two giant metal bears collided continuously. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of moves. The two giant bears were furious and their roars were like thunder. The power of the bear paws grew stronger and stronger, causing Lu Ming to feel immense pressure. There were a few times when he was almost hit by the bear paws. Yes, this is the feeling. Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, his eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. This kind of pressure and the feeling of danger would allow him to improve faster. It would be very useful for both the path of domination and the comprehension of the battle character formula. Kill! Suddenly, Lu Ming let out a long howl and charged at a giant bear. The giant bear roared angrily and slapped its palm. Lu Ming's body slanted slightly, avoiding the blow to his vital parts. He allowed the palm to hit him while his combat sword slashed at the giant bear. Bang! Lu Ming was hit by the fan. His body shook violently as if he had been struck by lightning. But at the same time, his combat sword also slashed the bear's chest, leaving a deep wound. The giant bear was enraged and its killing intent grew stronger. It was about to charge at Lu Ming when something happened. The metal ball, which was initially lying limply on Lu Ming's shoulder, suddenly turned into a rainbow light and rushed over. The metal ball's body turned into a sharp spike and stabbed at the giant bear's chest. The bear's chest was pierced through, leaving a hole in its back. The metal ball flew out from the bear's back and turned into a circle again. In the middle of the circle, a mouth and eyes full of fangs appeared. On both sides, metal liquid extended out like two tentacles. On the tentacle, there was a piece of golden metal. It was the beast core of the metal bear. Bang! As for the giant bear, it had fallen straight to the ground and was no longer breathing. What made Lu Ming and the rest even more dumbfounded was that the metal ball actually swallowed the beast core in one bite and began to chew it with a crunching sound. The remaining giant, metal bear roared and actually revealed a terrified expression. 2. Turned around and ran. Buzz. The metal ball turned into a beam of light and charged at the metal bear. The metal bear's defense was completely useless against the metal ball. The metal ball pierced through its body, leaving a hole in its chest. As for the beast core, it naturally fell into the metal ball. Gotcha! The metal ball then stuffed the beast core into its mouth and began to gobble it up. Its eyes revealed a very human-like expression of enjoyment. This is also fine. Lu Ming was in a daze. Judging from the aura of the metal ball, it should be at the first level of the Void D realm. However, the two giant metal bears at the third level of the Void D realm could not resist at all. It was as if the metallic sphere was capable of restraining these metallic lifeforms. Then, Lu Ming's heart ached. Two third-level Void D-level beast cores were eaten by the metal ball just like that. That was worth 40 divine crystals. You can counter these metallic lifeforms? Lu Ming walked over and picked up the metal ball. Crack, crack. The metal ball chewed a few times with its big mouth, and its eyes revealed a proud expression. It was as if he was saying, of course. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Okay, help us hunt metal desolate beasts in the future. However, you can't eat the desolate beast's heart. You have to give it to me. Lu Ming said. Crack, crack. The metal ball bit down a few more times, and the entire metal ball started to spin. It was clearly rejecting the offer. You don't agree? If you don't agree, I'll stuff you into my storage ring and you won't be able to get a single piece. Lu Ming threatened. The metal ball's mouth clenched with all its might, and its eyes revealed a furious expression. Then I'll keep you in my storage ring. Lu Ming did not compromise. After a round of bargaining, he finally reached an agreement with the metal ball. Half of the beast cores that the metal ball had hunted would be given to Lu Ming and the other half would be left for it to eat. After their discussion, they set off. Not long after, they encountered a few more desolate beasts. However, when the metal ball appeared, these desolate beasts seemed to be very afraid. They were easily killed by the metal ball and their beast cores were taken away. The metal ball pass, said half of the beast core to Lu Ming and stuffed the other half into its mouth, eating it noisily. Lu Ming and the rest were overjoyed. This way, their efficiency in hunting for beast cores would be greatly enhanced. Following that, they rampaged through the forest. Their speed of hunting desolate beasts greatly increased. Lu Ming realized that even if he encountered 4th level Void D-level dire beasts, the metal ball could easily deal with them. It was just slightly more troublesome. Most of the time, Lu Ming and the rest did not need to do anything. Sometimes, when he met a suitable opponent, Lu Ming had to block the metal ball to have a chance to train. In the blink of an eye, they had been in this forest for 3 days. In these 3 days, they had gained a lot. They had obtained more than 1,000 beast cores from level 1 to level 4 of the Void D realm. If they were to exchange them for divine crystals, they would have obtained more than 20,000 divine crystals. It had only been a few days, and they had already gained so much. Everyone smiled. 23. Chapter 25 90 Fierce Battle with a 5th level Ethereal D realm. One day, they came to a valley and encountered a nest of metal lizards. There were at least 20 of them, ranging from the 1st to the 4th level of the Void D realm. The metal ball rushed out and killed a 4th level virtual D level metal lizard. Then attacked the other lizards. Leave 2 for me. Lu Ming rushed over as well. He held his combat sword in the air and blocked 2 3rd level virtual D level lizards. They were engaged in a fierce battle. Over the past few days, he had been fighting with the metallic desolate beasts from time to time. His understanding of the battle symbol art had become deeper and deeper. The chances of him activating the battle symbol art had also increased. They didn't notice that a figure had appeared on a mountain peak far away from them. This man was the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace. He had been searching for the past few days and came here by accident. He heard the fight here and came to take a look. With a glance, his eyes revealed a cold, killing intent. It's that treasure. His eyes were fixed on the metal ball. Back then, he had rushed into the cave and seen the metal ball. Just as he was about to take the metal ball, the giant metal eagle had returned, and he had run away in a hurry. Now that he saw the metal ball here, he immediately knew who had tricked him back then. It was Lu Ming and the rest. Tong Shi so it's them. I've sent few people, but they didn't kill them. And I want you all to die. The bald man's eyes revealed a cold expression and deep greed. That metal ball could casually kill metal desolate beasts and obtain their beast cores. If he could obtain them, he would be rich. He moved along the ground and dashed toward Lu Ming and the rest silently. I was very cautious. Although the cultivation of Lu Ming and the rest did not seem to be high, there were 4th level Void D level powerhouses among the people he had sent out. However, they had not returned in the end. Therefore, he decided to use a sneak attack to get rid of a few people first. He was extremely fast and soon, he was close to Lu Ming and the rest. Who's there? Xian Nianjin's eyes suddenly turned in one direction. A holy light spread out and formed a sword. He slashed out. Wherever the sword light said, the metal trees were cut in half. Boom. On the other side, divine power burst forth and a figure shot into the sky, exposed to everyone. His spiritual sense is so sharp. Also, his divine power is so strong. The bald man from the Yuan Luo Palace was shocked. He had already concealed his aura, but he was still discovered by Xian Yinjuan. At the same time, he was shocked by the power of Zik Nianjin's sword. The divine power of someone at the 1st level of the Void D realm was actually not weaker than that of someone at the 4th level of the Void D realm. A monster. There's actually such a monster in the righteous army. We must get rid of him. The bald burly man roared in his heart. It's him. At that moment, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and the rest recognized the bald man. They had seen him from afar before. Buzz. Lu Ming moved and dodged the 2 lizards' attacks. Then, the metal ball rushed over and killed the 2 lizards. It took out their beast cores and landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. Tong Shi, you're not dead yet. It seems that the people I sent are dead, the bald man said ferociously. That's right, we've already killed him, Tong Shi said. However, her expression was a little grave. This bald burly man gave her a lot of pressure. He was definitely a terrifying expert. So, you were the ones who alerted the metal eagle and lured it back to the cave? The bald man sneered, his eyes flashing with a fierce light. It seems that you're not stupid, Lu Ming said coldly. Kid, give me that metal ball. The bald man looked at the metal ball on Lu Ming's shoulder. The greed in his eyes intensified. You want it? Come and get it yourself, Lu Ming said. You're looking for death. The bald burly man moved and charged at Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. Whoosh, whoosh. As soon as the bald man moved, Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan moved as well. A black and a white sword light flew towards the bald man. Get lost. A saber appeared in the bald man's hand. The saber light flashed as he slashed at Xian Yanqing and the other man, trying to shake off their sword light. 5th level Void G. Oh, D realm. Lu Ming could tell the bald man's cultivation level the moment he made his move. A 5th level Void G. Oh, D realm was definitely powerful. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan did not dare to fight the bald man head-on. They changed their sword stances and transformed into a dozen sword lights. They dodged the bald man's saber and stabbed at his vital points. Get lost, get lost. The bald man bellowed as he slashed his saber. However, Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's combat techniques were too powerful. They dodged his attacks completely, but they were still able to attack his vital points at all times. The two of them joined forces, and the sword light kept flashing, forcing the bald man to be unable to rush over. Bang! At this moment, a cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He took a step forward and charged at the bald man, slashing his sword at the man's head. Gel lost. The bald burly man bellowed. His divine power boiled and burst out like a tide. Lu Ming's combat sword slashed against this strong divine power, as if it had slashed against a mountain. Boom! Lu Ming felt a surge of terrifying power surging towards him, and he could not help but retreat. 5th level of Ethereal G. Oh, D realm. What a strong power. Lu Ming felt his arms go numb and his blood and qi were in turmoil. Fang! At that moment, the metal ball threw a beast core into its mouth. As it chewed, its body rushed toward the bald man. In the process of rushing out, the metal ball changed sharply, turning into a big ball with a diameter of a few meters, smashing towards the bald man. Thump! The bald man's blade hit the metal ball, causing a huge explosion. The metal ball was sent flying, but the bald man's blade momentum also slowed down. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Zik Nianqing and Zik Nianjin's sword radiance surged like two rainbow lights and instantly attacked the bald man. Get lost! The bald man roared and slashed out with his saber. A crescent-shaped blade light slashed out in all directions. This was a large-scale attack. Even though it consumed a lot of divine power, it was very useful in this situation. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan couldn't help but retreat. Although they could kill 4th level Void G, D level powerhouses with their powerful combat techniques, they were still no match for 5th level Void G. DS. Brat died. After forcing Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan back, the bald man pounced at Lu Ming with a ferocious expression. Go! Lu Ming waved his hand and the metal ball rushed out again, charging at the bald man. However, the metal ball was still blasted away by the bald man's saber. Chapter 2591. Fleeing in a sorry state. The metal ball was extremely heavy, and its power was comparable to a 4th level Void G. D realm. However, it couldn't block the bald man's attack. Tong Shi was extremely anxious at the side. However, with her strength, the difference between her and the bald man was too great. She would only die if she went up. Brat die! The bald burly man bellowed. He saw that the metal ball was following Lu Ming and had the greatest killing intent toward him. He wanted to get rid of Lu Ming first. Lu Ming's size narrowed and he retreated rapidly. At the same time, he exploded his ruler's power to the maximum. Buzz! The bald burly man's saber radiance was incomparably dazzling as it slashed toward Lu Ming. As Lu Ming retreated, he slashed out with his sword and it collided with the bald man's saber. Clang! The sword and saber collided, sending sparks flying in all directions. Lu Ming fell, an extremely terrifying force surging towards him. His body shook violently and he flew out like a cannonball, crashing into the wall of the valley. Even the metal wall cracked and caved in. Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. He felt that his arm was about to break from the impact. The divine weapon sword in his hand had actually been chipped. A level 5 low-grade G. The equipment. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The battle saber in the bald man's hand was a level 5 low-quality G. D weapon, while the battle sword in his hand was only a level 3 low-quality G. D weapon. It was normal for the other party to have a crack in it. In the primal universe, divine weapons were divided into 4 major levels: low grade, medium grade, high grade, and top grade. Each level was further divided into 9 ranks. The combat sword in Lu Ming's hand was given to him by Ya. It was a level 3 low-grade divine artifact and was the highest level divine artifact that Lu Ming bad. Boom. At this time, the metal ball charged at the bald man again. Its size had become even bigger, with a diameter of 10 meters. It was like a small hill as it smashed towards the bald man. Xian Yanjuan, Dark Holy Light Technique. Xian Yanqing sent a message to Xian Yanjuan. All right. Xian Yanjuan nodded. Boom, boom. Brilliant light burst out from the two of them. One was black and the other was white, like a black sun and a white sun. Then, the black and white light intertwined and formed a cage, enveloping the bald man in it. Boom. The bald man struck the cage with all his might, but it didn't break. This was the Dark Holy Light Cage, a secret skill that could only be used by Xian Yanging and Xian Yanjuan when they worked together. When the Heaven Realm and the Evil D Realm had fought, the two of them had worked together to trap the sacred ancestor Bloodheart for a while. Back then they had only been Demi-G. DS, but they had been able to trap sacred ancestor Bloodheart, who was at the Void D Realm. Now that both of them had broken through to the Void D Realm, their cultivation techniques had changed, and they could control divine power. The power of this technique was much stronger than before. Boom, boom, boom. The bald burly man went berserk. His blade glowed brightly as he launched a frenzied attack. However, it was blocked by the Dark Holy Light Cage. He couldn't break it at all. Lu Ming, attack, Zik Nianqing shouted. Kill! Lu Ming bellowed. He exerted all his strength and slashed his combat sword madly. Sword Qi rushed towards the bald man as if it was free. At the same time, Tong Shi also charged over and attacked with all her might. In addition, the metal ball would seize the opportunity to hit the bald man from time to time. The Dark Holy Light Cage did not stop Lu Ming and the rest at all. Their attacks bombarded the bald burly man to their heart's content. At this moment, the bald burly man was like a live target, allowing Lu Ming and the rest to attack him. The bald burly man waved his saber with all his might to block the attacks from Lu Ming and the rest. However, Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's Dark Holy Light Cage could not only trap him, but also attack him. Black and white lotuses emerged from the Dark Holy Light Cage and turned into Sword Qi. They danced and attacked the bald man. For a moment, the bald man was teared and could only try his best to resist. However, he could only defend and not attack. He was a live target and there would always be times when he was careless. A black sword light streaked across his body, leaving a deep sword wound that was bleeding profusely. He bellowed in anger and retreated rapidly, crashing into the Dark Holy Light Cage. A white sword light flashed and his chest was almost pierced. The bald man let out a beast-like roar. Isle was in existence at the 5th level of the Void D Realm, yet he was injured by a few juniors at the 1st level of the Void D Realm. He was furious. Unfortunately, it was useless no matter how angry he was. After a while, he was even more outmatched. He staggered after being hit by the metal ball. Lu Ming seized the opportunity and almost beheaded him with a slash of his sword, leaving a sword wound that was a few feet long on his chest. The bald man's strength started to weaken. "You're the one who's going to die today," Lu Ming said coldly, and his attacks became more violent. "Don't even think about it. You juniors can forget about killing me," the bald burly man roared. His aura suddenly skyrocketed, as if there was a flame burning Shen power. The bald burly man was going all out. Normal people would not burn their Shen power unless it was a critical moment. This was because if they burned their Shen power too much, their cultivation might decrease and even leave behind terrifying aftereffects that would make it difficult for them increase their cultivation in the future. Usually, if they did not encounter an especially dangerous situation, they would not risk their lives like this. However, the bald man had no choice but to risk his life. If he didn't, he might die here. Boom, boom. The burning of his divine power increased the bald man's strength by a large margin. He broke through everyone's attacks with a single strike, then heavily slashed at the dark holy light cage. Boom. The dark holy light cage started to shake violently. Boom, boom. Following that, the bald burly man bombarded the dark holy light cage in a frenzy, causing the cage to shake more and more violently. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's delicate bodies trembled as their faces turned pale. The bald burly man attacked 50 to 60 times in a row, and he specifically attacked a certain area. Gotcha. That area finally couldn't hold on any longer and a crack appeared. Then, the crack collapsed and a gap appeared. Buzz. The bald man seized the opportunity and rushed out of the gap. He then turned into a rainbow light and sped into the distance. "I will take revenge for this sooner or later." The bald burly man's furious roar could be heard. He actually did not dare to stay. He needed to find a place to stop and burn his Shen power to recuperate. If he continued, not only would his cultivation level fall, but it would also leave behind terrifying after-effects. It would be a great loss if there were terrifying after-effects that would prevent him from improving his cultivation in the future. Compared to killing Lu Ming and the rest, his future was more important. He would have another chance to kill Lu Ming and the rest in the future. In the blink of an eye, the bald man had disappeared. What a pity! Lu Ming sighed secretly. However, he also knew that their cultivation base was too low. It was already extremely shocking that they could force a 5th-level Void G.O.D. realm existence into such a state. Chapter 2592 Metal Sphere Advances. The bald man retreated with serious injuries. Lu Ming and the rest did not stay and left the place immediately. Following that, they were much more cautious and went to remote places to avoid encountering other martial artists. The next 10 days were very peaceful. Nothing major happened. They were able to hunt desolate beasts in. With the help of the metal ball, their speed of hunting desolate beasts had greatly increased. However, they realized something. The metal ball could deal with 4th-level virtual G.O.D. level wild beasts, but it would be very difficult to deal with 5th-level virtual G.O.D. level wild beasts. It could scare the other party, but if the other party turned and ran, the metal ball could not catch up. Therefore, the wild beasts they hunted were all below the 4th level of the Void G.D. realm. During this period, Lu Ming, Xian Yangqing, Xian Yinjuan, and Tong Shi also went all out to kill the dire beasts and hunt for their beast corks. After all, if it relied on the metal ball alone, I would have to take half of the beast cores hunted. If they worked together, their efficiency would naturally be much higher. In 10 days' time, together with the beast cores they had hunted before, they could probably sell all of them for around 100,000 divine crystals. Was definitely a big harvest. On this day, after the metal ball swallowed a beast core, its body suddenly emitted a brilliant light. A powerful aura filled the air. Could this be? He's about to advance? Lu Ming was a little stunned. Could it be that the metal ball would be able to advance if it kept devouring the beast core? Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. The metal ball was like a balloon, swelling and shrinking. This repeated for a few hours before it finally stabilized, and the aura of the metal ball also increased. 2nd level of the Void G.O.D. realm. Lu Ming understood that the metal ball had really advanced and reached 2nd level Void G.O.D. level. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The metal ball had advanced and it would undoubtedly be more powerful. In the future, it would be faster to hunt dire beasts. While they were hunting wild beasts, a figure rushed out of a hidden cave. It was the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace. After more than 10 days, his injuries had finally completely recovered. The side effects of burning Shen power had also completely stabilized. Tong Shi-er, and that kid, don't think of having an easy time. If I can't have him, you can't either, the bald man said ferociously. Then, his figure flashed and he left. Tens of thousands of miles away, there was another group of people hunting desolate beasts. There were about a dozen of them. This group of people came from another force, the Feng Yun Hall. Feng Yun Hall was a force that was not weaker than the Yuan Luo Palace and the Jingtian army. Who is it? Suddenly, an old man leading the Feng Yun Hall looked in one direction with lightning-like eyes. Brother Feng, you're really sharp. I'm impressed. With a chuckle, a figure emerged. It was the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace. Kong Bing, is that you? What, do you want to take advantage of my Feng Yun Hall? The old man from Feng Yun Hall scanned the surroundings with lightning-like eyes. The other people of Feng Yun Hall also looked around vigilantly. The chaotic Astrolacan is a chaotic place with countless big and small powers. It's a common occurrence for these powers to kill each other. On the Myriad Gold Star, it was common to fight for beast cores, so they naturally had to be on high alert. Brother Feng, you must be joking. I'm here to tell you a great opportunity. The bald man laughed. A great opportunity? The corners of the old man's mouth curled up slightly. He obviously didn't believe it. If there's an opportunity, why would you be so kind as to tell me? He would have taken it for himself long ago. This opportunity isn't in my hands. It was taken away by a few kids from the righteous army. They obtained a type of metal ball that has spirituality. It can suppress other metal desolate beasts on the Myriad Gold Star and then H their beast cores. It's extremely efficient. The bald man said. What? There was actually such a treasure? Kong Bing, you're not lying to me, are you? The old man still didn't believe him. It's up to you to believe it or not. The news has been delivered. There are only 4 people in the Jingtian army, 3 women and 1 man. They are all young people. Why don't you try to see if it's true? The bald man laughed, and then his figure flashed and left. Big Brother Li, what should we do? Is this Kong Bing telling the truth? Someone asked the old man. There's actually such a powerful metallic life form that can suppress the other metallic desolate beasts. It's better to believe it than not. If it's true, then we'll be rich. Well, immediately find those fellows from the righteous army. The old man ordered. After that, the bald man shuttled through the land to find people from other forces and spread the news. Most of them, like the old man of Feng Yun Hall, would rather look for it. More and more people joined in the search for Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming and the rest were unaware of this and continued to hunt for beast cores. With the advancement of the metal ball, their speed of obtaining beast cores had increased. They could even kill 5th-level virtual D-level wild beasts now. There's someone. One day, as they were moving forward, Xian Yanjin's eyes suddenly moved. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also sensed it. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. The figures in front of him flickered, and 6 figures appeared. These 6 people were from the Human-Snake Hybrid Clan and the Ox-Head Clan. The leader of the group, an old serpent man, swept a dark gaze at Lu Ming and the rest. His gaze eventually landed on the metal ball on Lu Ming's shoulder. It's just as Kong Bing said. There really is a metallic life form like this. The Serpent Man Elder's eyes were filled with greed. They came from a small force and only 6 of them were on the Myriad Gold Star. When they heard news about Kong Bing, they immediately started searching everywhere. Unexpectedly, they found Lu Ming and the others first. Brat, hand over that metal ball and well spare your life. The Serpent Man Elder spoke with a sharp and voice. He swung his tail back and forth threateningly. Are they here for the metal ball? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He immediately thought of the bald man from the Origin Hall. It must have been the bald man who leaked the news, or he wanted to use someone else to get rid of them. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted coldly. Among the 6 of them, The Snake Man Elder had the highest cultivation base, which was at the 4th level of the Void D realm. The rest of them were all below the 4th level of the Void D realm, so they were not afraid at all. What did you just say? A transformation Void martial stage warrior dares to talk to me like this. If you hand over the metal ball, I could consider sparing your life. Now, even if you kneel down and beg me, you will still die. The Serpent Man Elder's voice was extremely cold and filled with killing intent. I'll kill him. A 3rd level Void D realm Minotaur held a battle axe. He arched his body and took a step forward, charging toward Lu Ming like an arrow. Go, smash him to death. Lu Ming waved his hand and the metal ball flew out. At the same time, it expanded rapidly and smashed down on the Minotaur's face. 22 swipe left to continue. Chapter 2593 Preparing to leave the metal ball enlarged and smashed towards the Minotaur. The Minotaur roared and waved his giant axe, heavily chopping at the metal ball. Clang. With an earth-shattering sound, the battle axe in the Minotaur's hand bounced back and hit his head. At the same time, the metal ball pressed down and hit the Minotaur's head. The Minotaur let out a blood-curdling screech as his body exploded and he died on the spot. When the metal ball was at the 1st level of the virtual D realm, its power was equivalent to the 4th level of the virtual D realm. Now that it had advanced, it could fight with a 5th level virtual D realm powerhouse. Naturally, it could kill a 3rd level virtual D realm powerhouse instantly. What? The old Serpent Man was shocked. A 3rd level Void D realm expert was instantly killed. Even he couldn't do that. Let's go. The Serpent Man Elder roared and turned to run. The remaining few people had long since been scared out of their wits. Before the old Serpent Man Elder could say anything, they had also fled. Smash! Lu Ming waved his hand and the metal ball flew out, smashing towards the old Serpent Man. Boom! The metal ball was like a mountain as it crashed toward the old Serpent Man Elder. The Serpent Man Elder used all his strength to block and blast out attacks, but they were all destroyed by the metal ball. Bang! The Serpent Man Elder's palms finally landed on the metal ball. His body trembled violently, and he was sent flying while spitting out blood. Both his arms had been broken. Then, the metal ball continued to lie over and smashed down heavily. The old Serpent Man couldn't block the metal ball's attack at all. He tried his best to block a few moves, but he was still killed by the metal ball. As for the remaining people, Xian Yanging and Xian Yinjuan had already rushed out. With a flash of their swords, they were all killed. The old Serpent Man and the other 6 had all fallen here. However, Lu Ming and the rest looked grave. If the bald man from the Yuan Luo Palace could inform the old Serpent Man, he could also inform the others. It would be bad if he encountered a stronger opponent. Let's go! After putting away the storage rings of the old Serpent Man and the others, the group left in a flash. However, not long after, they were surrounded again. This time, they met the people of Tingyun Hall. There were more than 20 people from Fengyun Hall, and 2 of them were at the 5th level of the Void D realm. There were also a few 4th level Void D realm experts, and they were no match for them. With the help of the metal ball, they managed to block a few of the other party's attacks. They then quickly retreated. Don't even think about leaving. Hand over that metallic sphere. The leader of the Tingyun Hall was a human elder. His eyes were cold and his cultivation base was at the peak of the 5th level of the Void D realm. He was very powerful and was hot on Lu Ming's heels. Lu Ming and the rest did not take a look and ran at full speed. Die! The old man from Fengyun Hall struck out with his palm. The force of his palm was like an avalanche as it blasted towards Lu Ming and the rest. Wherever it passed, some trees made of metal were constantly blown up and shattered. Go! Lu Ming pushed the metal ball out directly. Thump! With a loud boom, the metal ball shook violently and was sent flying back. However, the speed of Lu Ming and the rest was not affected at all. They ran at top speed. You can't escape. The old man of Fengyun Hall had a ferocious look on his face, and his eyes were filled with greed. That metal ball was so magical, and its strength was also extremely shocking. If he could get his hands on it, he would definitely be like a tiger that had grown wings. Suddenly, a loud roar came from the front. The roar was shocking. Even from a distance, one could feel a powerful pressure. That's a 6th level Void G. Oh, D Realm Metal Desolate Beast. Zik Nianjuan said. Charge. Lu Ming said. They did not slow down at all and rushed straight ahead. You guys? You're looking for death, you're looking for death. The old man of Fengyun Hall roared. Even if you're looking for death, I won't let you off easily. If you have the ability, then come after me. Lu Ming turned around and shouted in disdain. In it. The old man of Fengyun Hall roared. He gritted his teeth and continued to chase. Thunderous roars came from the front. They saw a giant metal tiger that was more than 10 meters tall. As soon as Lu Ming and the rest approached, they were discovered by the giant metal tiger. Its cold gaze swept over Lu Ming and the rest, and they felt a strong pressure. A 6th tier Void G. Oh, D Realm was extremely terrifying. Even if Xian Yanging and Xian Yanjuan joined forces with the metal ball, they would be defeated in an instant. The metal growler let out a long roar. It took a step forward and the Karth shook. It then dashed toward Lu Ming and the rest. I can only take a gamble. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He did not stop and continued to rush forward. At that moment, the metal ball revealed a big mouth and a pair of eyes. It stared at the giant metal tiger and opened and closed its big mouth with all its might, making a cracking sound. When the giant metal tiger saw the metal ball, a trace of fear flashed in its eyes. Then, it twisted its waist, "Bypass," said Lu Ming and the rest, and rushed toward the people of Fengyun Hall. And it. Quickly run. The old man of Fengyun Hall shouted, turned around and ran, although he was at peak LV5 Void G. Oh, D Realm, he would die if he went up against the giant metal tiger that was at LV6 Void G. Oh, D Realm. The metal desolate beasts on the myriad gold star were stronger when fighting against the same level. Because they were all made of metal, their defensive power was astonishing, and their vitality was very tenacious. When they fought, they were not afraid of death. The giant metal tiger roared angrily. It leaped 100 miles and quickly caught up with the people of Fengyun Hall. Its huge claws swept out and 2 experts of Tingyun Hall were killed. Then, it opened its mouth and bit down. An expert of Tingyun Hall was bitten into 2 pieces. It was simply torture. It. The old man from Fengyun Hall ran the fastest, leading the way. However, he was roaring in his heart. He could not figure out why the giant metal tiger did not attack Lu Ming and the rest. Instead, it attacked them directly. He was furious, but now he could only run. Lu Ming and the rest heaved a long sigh of relief. Tong Shi-er in particular felt a thin layer of cold sweat all over her body. However, they had made the right. But the giant metal tiger did not attack them. It seemed like the metal ball was effective even against a 6th level Void G. Oh, D Realm Metal Desolate Beast. Let's go. They didn't stop and left in a flash. After running for a distance, they finally stopped. It seems like we can't keep Wan Jinxing alive. I'm afraid that guy from the Yuan Luo Palace has already spread the news. Tong Shi said. That's right, let's leave immediately and return to the true Heaven Star. Lu Ming added he had gained a lot of divine crystals after hunting for a while. He could use them for a while if he sold them. Originally, if there was no danger, they had planned to continue hunting desolate beasts on the myriad gold star. But now, it was too dangerous to stay on the myriad gold star. They would be in danger if they encountered a 6th or even 7th level Void G. Oh, D Realm Expert. 23. Chapter 2594 Metal Beast Tide. The few of them discussed for a while and decided to return. After that, Tong Shi-er took out the Starry Sky battleship. After activating it, the few of them entered the battleship. The starship glowed and shot up into the sky, breaking through the horizon. However, just as the interplanetary warship charged into the atmosphere, a terrifying blade light slashed down from above and struck the interplanetary warship heavily. Boom. The starship rumbled and shook violently. Not good. Lu Ming and the rest's expressions changed. Through the starry sky battleship, they could see a burly man with a horn on his forehead in the sky. This was an expert of the rhinoceros people. The fluctuations emitted from this person's body were as terrifying as a stormy sea. Ili's eyes were cold as he slashed out with his saber again. The snow-white blade light lit up the sky and struck the starry sky battleship. The starry sky battleship shook violently and rumbled continuously. Fortunately, the defense of the interplanetary warship was strong enough. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to travel in the starry sky. It would be difficult for the other party to break through it in a short time. However, the other party could not break it, but they could stop them. When the other experts arrived, they would be like turtles in a jar. Turn around, Lu Ming said. Tong Shi-er controlled the starry sky battleship and turned it around, flying back to the ground. In the air, the rhinoceros man chased closely. This burly man's cultivation was shockingly high. Al was definitely above the 6th level of the Void G.O.D realm and was probably a terrifying expert at the 7th level of the Void G.O.D realm. It was obvious that this person had been patrolling in the sky earlier because he had expected Lu Ming and the rest to escape in the interplanetary warship. If there were such experts in this area, there might be terrifying experts patrolling in other areas as well. They approached the ground but did not leave the interplanetary warship. Instead, they drove the warship and flew. The speed of the interstellar battleship was astonishing, far beyond that of the rhinoceros man. Very quickly, it left the rhinoceros man in the dust. After shaking off the rhinoceros people, they left the interplanetary warship and flew on their own. The movement of an interstellar battleship flying on the myriad gold star was too big and too eye-catching. If they kept flying, they would undoubtedly be courting death. Not only would they attract other experts, but they would also attract the powerful existences among the metallic desolate beasts. However, their luck seemed to have run out. They had not flown for long before they encountered a group of people. This group of people's eyes lit up the moment they saw Lu Ming and the rest. It's them. Kill them and take their treasures. This group of people charged directly at Lu Ming and the rest. The one at the forefront was a 5th-level Void G.O.D level existence. There were also a few 4th-level Void G.O.D realm experts. Go, smash him to death. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. With a wave of his hand, the metal ball flew out and smashed towards the 5th-level Void G.O.D level existence. With the metal ball's current strength, it would have no problem blocking a 5th-level Void G.O.D level powerhouse. As for Lu Ming and the rest, they rushed to the remaining people. Being chased all the way, Lu Ming and the rest were filled with pent-up anger. It was a good time to go on a killing spree. Boom. The metal ball collided with the 5th-level Void G.O.D realm expert. Xian Yanjin's sword turned into a sword light that enveloped the two 4th-level Void G.O.D realm experts. On the other hand, Xian Yanqing charged toward the last 4th-level Void G.O.D realm cultivator. Lu Ming activated the double combat strength and dealt with the others with Tong Shi. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could protect himself as long as he did not encounter any 4th-level Void G.O.D level powerhouses. Although the other party had more people, Lu Ming was fully on the defense. The other party could not do anything to him for a while. On the other hand, Xian Yanqing was completely overpowered by a 4th-level Void G.O.D realm existence. Xian Yanqing had devoured the memories of his previous life. His combat experience and awareness were not much worse than Xian Yanjin's. His sword flashed and forced his opponent to retreat. After dozens of moves, the opponent was almost cut in half by Zik Nianking's sword light. He was so scared that he retreated frantically. At this moment, Xian Yanqing's sword suddenly changed direction and like a fairy from heaven, he attacked the people who were fighting Lu Ming. A sword light flashed, and a few heads flew off. A third-level Void G.O.D. realm and 2 second-level Void G.O.D. realm experts were killed instantly. Such swordsmanship, such combat skills. Lu Ming was secretly shocked as he watched. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's swordsmanship came from the same source. They were very similar and were simply wonderful. Lu Ming felt that he could not achieve it. Especially after Xian Yanging and Xian Yinjuan broke through to the martial G.O.D. realm, their strength had reached an even more shocking level. This wasn't a divine skill, but a pure use of the sword. It was a kind of technique and experience. With their current divine power, it was still difficult for them to support the explosion of a divine skill. Usually, one had to be at least at the peak of ethereal G.O.D. realm before they could practice the G.O.D. lay skill. Buzzwoo. After killing 3 experts, Xian Yanking's sword changed its momentum again and killed 2 more. Not good. The rest of the people were shocked. They had so many people, but they were no match for Lu Ming and the other 3 young people. They were shocked. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. At this moment, a violent air-piercing sound came from the distance, and a dozen streams of light shot over. Another group of experts had arrived. Those people from before were overjoyed. It's them. They have the treasure. Let's join forces and kill them. Those people from before shouted. It's them, kill. The people who came later saw Lu Ming and the rest and charged over one after another. Let's go. Lu Ming shouted and kept the metal ball. He then turned and left with Tong Shi, Xian Yanqing, and Xian Yinjuan. Another group of enemies had arrived, and there were 5th-level Void G.O.D. level powerhouses among them. It would be unwise to stay and fight them head-on. Where do you think you're going? Behind him, a group of people was in hot pursuit. The 2 sides, one chasing and one escaping, covered tens of thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. Something's not right. Why is there not a single metallic desolate beast in this area? Suddenly, Lu Ming frowned. They had run for tens of thousands of kilometers. Logically speaking, they should have encountered many metallic desolate beasts, but just now, they had not encountered a single one. This was clearly abnormal. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, a series of explosions came from the distance, and the earth shook violently. Moreover, the vibration did not come from a single direction, but from all directions. What's going on? The people who were chasing after Lu Ming's group had a change in expression. Following that, the roars of beasts could be heard. The quaking of the ground became more and more intense. Then, they saw countless metal desolate beasts charging towards them from all directions like a tide. Beast tide, desolate beast tide, hurry up and run. Fly to the sky. The people who were chasing Lu Ming and the rest panicked and exclaimed in shock. However, there were wild beasts in all directions. With so many wild beasts rushing over, there would definitely be nothing left of them. Many people rushed into the sky, trying to escape by air. However, in the next moment, they were in despair. Chapter 2595 Reaping What You Sow. Buzz. Buzz zzz. In the sky, a sharp cry rang out. Flying desolate beasts appeared in the sky. Everyone's face turned pale. What do we do? Tong Xier's face was also pale. Let's go all out, little fellow. I'm counting on you. Lu Ming looked at the metal ball. The metal ball was able to deter those metal desolate beasts. Now, they could only rely on the metal ball. Boom, boom, boom. Countless metal desolate beasts approached. Their terrifying auras came pressing down like an avalanche. Ah! Ah! Some people had already been swept into the beast tide, and they let out a series of miserable cries. However, in the blink of an eye, there was no sound. The metal ball in Lu Ming's hand expanded. Its big mouth opened and closed, its size widened, and it glared at the metal desolate beasts. When the metal demonic beasts saw the metal ball, they looked frightened. They went around Lu Ming and the others and did not attack them. It's effective. Lu Ming and the rest were overjoyed. This scene was also seen by the others. Charge at them, they're fine. We can leave the myriad gold star with them. The remaining people who had not died rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. Let's go. Lu Ming and the rest would not just stand there like fools. They used the metal ball to open up a path and rushed into the beast tide. You guys did not save me. You guys will die a terrible death. When those people saw Lu Ming and the rest rushing into the beast tide and about to disappear, they all roared madly. Lu Ming and the rest looked down on them. These people wanted to kill them just now. They were not fools. How could they possibly save them? And he said that he was going to leave them in the lurch. What a joke. Screams and rumbles came from behind, and soon there was no more sound. Lu Ming and the rest used the metal ball to clear the way. It was very safe and they said through the beast tide without any danger. However, after they had advanced for a while, they encountered another horde of beasts with an astonishing number. They were running through the forest, their roars thundering. I've heard that the myriad gold star only has a beast tide once every 10,000 years. I didn't expect that we would encounter one this time, Tong Shi said. There was a look of lingering fear on her face. This time, if they didn't have the metal ball, they would also be in danger, and it would most likely be a disaster. They said through the beast tide with the metal ball and entered a forest. Roar. Not long after they entered the forest, they heard the roars of wild beasts. At the same time, there were sword chi and saber light that soared into the sky. It was obvious that someone was fighting with the wild beasts. The next moment, they saw a group of people rushing over here, followed by a bunch of dire beasts. It's him. The expressions of Lu Ming and the rest changed. One of them was the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace. The other person was the old man from Fengyun Hall. At this moment, they were all in a sorry state as they were being chased by a group of desolate beasts. It's those The bald man from the Origin Net Palace also saw Lu Ming and the others. His eyes glowed with a cold light. Then, the bald man from the Origin Luo Palace charged at Lu Ming and the others. The rest of them followed the bald man and charged at Lu Ming and the rest. It was obvious that he wanted to drag Lu Ming and the rest into the water. You're really looking for death. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Let's bring them to the beast tide. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Xian Yanging and the rest. Their eyes lit up as they understood what Lu Ming and the rest were up to. They turned around and ran towards the beast tide. The bald burly man and the rest were in hot pursuit, following closely behind Lu Ming. They had just said through the beast horde, so they were not far away. Soon they saw a large group of dire beasts. Lu Ming kept the metal ball in his storage ring. Roar! Roar! The moment the dire beasts saw Lu Ming and his group, they charged at them in a frenzy. Not good. In it. The bald man and the others were shocked. On the other hand, Lu Ming's group turned around and rushed towards the bald man and the others, bringing along a large group of dire beasts. In it, you all deserve to die. A bunch of lunatics. The bald burly man and the rest roared. They thought that Lu Ming and the rest could not escape and would die with them. You guys, get out, get out? The bald man roared. Didn't you want to chase us just now? Why are you telling us to get lost now? Lu Ming sneered and continued to chase after the bald man and the rest. The bald burly man and the others revealed looks of despair. There was a large group of desolate beasts behind them, and there were even more desolate beasts in front. In the sky, there were also densely packed flying desolate beasts. He simply had no way out. At this moment, Lu Ming and the rest suddenly stopped. Then, the metal ball in his hand appeared again. He took out the metal ball and the dire beasts automatically said Lu Ming and the rest, pouncing on the bald man and the rest. Enjoy it, Lu Ming sneered. Then he, Xian Yanqing, and the rest rushed into the group of dire beasts, safe and sound. The bald man, the old man of Fengyun Hall, roared in anger and hysteria. They were aggrieved, unwilling, and afraid to dick. They understood that they had been tricked by Lu Ming. They wanted to charge at Lu Ming and the rest, but countless dire beasts had already drowned them. A few 5th-level virtual G. D-level wild beasts charged at the bald man. The bald man tried his best to block a few moves before he was torn apart and died on the spot. The old man of Fengyun Hall was also torn to pieces by the wild beasts after only a few moves. Lu Ming and the few of them left the place. Now that there's a beast tide, be it on the ground or in the sky, there are terrifying dire beasts. There shouldn't be any experts in the sky blocking us, right? Let's leave now, Lu Ming said. Everyone nodded. Those powerhouses had probably left the myriad gold star after seeing the beast tide. However, with so many desolate beasts in the sky, they naturally could not take out the starry sky battleship to fly. They had to pass through the group of desolate beasts before they could leave. They flew toward the sky. Buzz. All of a sudden, a sharp screech was heard. A huge silver-white eagle that looked as if it was made of silver flew over and fixed its eyes on Lu Ming and the rest. A terrifying aura emanated from the condor, causing Lu Ming and the rest's hearts to race. Terrifying. It was so terrifying. The condor gave them a terrifying feeling. It was even more terrifying than the 7th level Void G. D-realm wild beasts they had encountered before. It was definitely an existence that had Serpa. Said the 7th level of the Void G. D-realm. This kind of existence was too shocking. Lu Ming felt that the other party could kill him in one move. The silver condor's cold eyes stared at them. Lu Ming and the others could not help but tense up and break out in cold sweat. Crack, crack. The metal ball opened its mouth wide and stared at the eagle. The silver condor's gaze landed on the metal. Unlike other desolate beasts, there was not much fear in the silver condor's eyes. D23. Chapter 2596 Return. When they saw the silver condor's cold and fearless gaze, Lu Ming and the others could not help but feel nervous. No way. This silver eagle was not afraid of the metal ball. Then wouldn't they be finished? Being ignored by the silver condor, the metal ball was furious. It seemed to feel that its dignity had been challenged. Its body swelled up, and its eyes were wide open. Its mouth was full of fangs and it bit down. At the same time, 2 tentacles stretched out of its body, which was like liquid metal, and waved vigorously as if threatening the silver condor. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Xian Yanjuan, and Tong Shi didn't even dare to breathe. They stood there, motionless. Now, he had to rely on the metal ball. If the metal ball couldn't scare off the enemy, they would be in danger. Fortunately, the silver condor finally reacted. After its cold eyes swept over Lu Ming and the rest, it turned around, let out a long hiss, flapped its wings and left. Not only that, even the other flying desolate beasts in the surrounding area also left. Let's go! Lu Ming and the rest heaved a long sigh of relief. They felt a chill on their backs and they were drenched in cold sweat. Crack, crack. The metal ball shrunk and turned into a round metal ball again. It jumped around in front of Lu Ming, as if it was showing off its achievements. Let's go! Lu Ming grabbed the metal ball and flew to the sky. This time, they were not in any danger. They flew all the way to the sky above the atmosphere and approached the outer sea before they stopped. There were no more desolate beasts here, nor were there any other powerful cultivators. Tong Shi took out the starry sky battleship. After entering the battleship, it turned into a stream of light and flew out of the atmosphere, charging into the vast starry sky. After entering the starry sky, they heaved a sigh of relief. Many things had happened on this trip to Myriad Gold Star, and they had finally left without any danger. It'll come again when my cultivation level is higher, Lu Ming muttered. This was a treasure land. He could hunt for a large number of metallic desolate beasts. Moreover, Lu Ming had a treasure like the metal ball. The efficiency of hunting for beast cores was amazing. However, they definitely couldn't come in the near future. It wasn't just because of the beast tide. After the beast tide, the experts of the other forces would probably return to the Myriad Gold Star and look for them. After a few years, when his cultivation was higher, he would come back. Then, they sorted out the storage rings they had obtained from the enemy. They found some beast cores and divine crystals. He would organize the items and sell the beast cores when he returned to the righteous army. Then, B would split them equally. Time passed, said by quickly, and after a month, they had returned to True Heaven Star. It was a place in the righteous army that specialized in buying, selling, and even exchanging treasures. After returning to True Heaven Star, Tong Xie brought Lu Ming and the rest here and sold all the metal beast. In addition to their spoils, they had a total of 120,000 divine crystals. 120,000 divine crystals. We will take 30,000 each. Lu Ming smiled and began to divide it equally. No, I only need 10,000. This time, it's all thanks to you guys. I didn't do much. Tong Xie quickly refused, her face slightly red. This time, she really did not put in much effort. Whether it was Lu Ming, Kic Nianqing, or Zik Nianjuan, they were all more powerful than her. Eiler's contribution was the least, so she was a little embarrassed. Said to take 10,000 divine crystals. We agreed that we would split the divine crystals equally. Since we agreed, we naturally have to keep our word. Lu Ming pushed the 30,000 divine crystals to Tong Xie. Lu Ming was already very satisfied with the metal ball. If Tong Xie had not brought them there, he would not have been able to get it. However, Tong Xie still refused and only accepted 20,000 divine crystals. Lu Ming, I'll return the interplanetary warship then. You guys have a chat. Tong Xie said goodbye and left. 100,000 divine crystals left. Lu Ming took out the remaining divine crystals. Just give me 30,000. With a wave of his hand, Xian Yanjuan took a storage ring with 30,000 divine crystals and left only Lu Ming and Xian Yanging were left. Xian Yanging took 30,000 yuan, while Lu Ming kept 40,000 yuan. With these divine crystals, I should be able to break through quickly. Xian Yanging smiled. She had devoured the memories of her past life, and her cultivation speed was astonishing. Her comprehension of the cultivation path was especially smooth. Therefore, as long as she had the resources, she could break through very quickly. However, Xian Yanjuan had an even greater advantage. When she fused with her past life, it was equivalent to her past life being reborn. She almost didn't need to comprehend it again. Her breakthrough was even faster and there was almost no bottleneck. The two of them chatted for a while before returning to their rooms to cultivate. On this trip to Myriad Gold Star, after a series of battles, Lu Ming had made great progress. His comprehension of the battle character formula and the way of the Dominator had both improved greatly. Lu Ming had a feeling that he would be able to break through soon. Lu Ming placed the metal ball in his room and focused on cultivating in seclusion. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Lu Ming's body, which had been meditating for a year, suddenly exuded a strong suction force. The divine qi between heaven and earth frantically gathered towards his body and then rushed into it. Then, Lu Ming waved his hand and a pile of divine crystals appeared. They exploded continuously and turned into rich divine qi that was absorbed by Lu Ming. The world energy and the ruler's energy in Lu Ming's body began to surge and quickly became rich. A few days later, the aura on Lu Ming's body rose sharply. Then he slowly went into hiding. Lu Ming opened his eyes. There were two bright and dazzling beams of light in his eyes. 4-star Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming revealed a smile. After training on the Myriad Gold Star and cultivating in seclusion for a year, Lu Ming had another breakthrough. Of course, this was because Lu Ming's cultivation level was still low. He was at the Heavenly Emperor realm. Moreover, the cultivation environment of the desolate universe was much better than that of the Heaven realm. That was why he could break through so quickly. If he was in the Heaven realm, it would be impossible to break through in such a short time. Of course, if he reached the Void D realm in the future, it wouldn't be that easy breakthrough. It was very difficult to break through to each level of the ethereal D realm unless one was a heaven-defying genius with the help of some rare natural treasures. Lu Ming's abilities had undoubtedly increased again after he reached the 4-star Heavenly Emperor level. Now, if he activated the double combat strength, he could casually kill a 3rd-level Void D realm existence. He could even fight against a 4th-level Void G. Oh, D-realm existence. Lu Ming got up and stretched his back. A dense burst of explosions came from his body. This fellow. Lu Ming opened his eyes and realized that the metal ball was lying limply on the ground. 2. Looked listless and had almost turned into a pool of liquid. This guy, could it be that he didn't cat anything and ended up like this? Lu Ming made a guess and a piece of metal beast core appeared in his hand. Previously, Lu Ming still had dozens of scattered beast cores that he had not sold. 23. Chapter 2597 Lu Ming's standard of naming. As soon as the metal beast core appeared in Lu Ming's hand, the metal ball immediately bounced up and shook vigorously like a piece of jelly. A big mouth and a pair of eyes appeared on it. The eyes were only glowing and were staring at the metal beast core in Lu Ming's hand. Buzz. The metal ball jumped over, opened its mouth, and swallowed the beast core in one gulp. It began to chew on after a while. The metal ball finished the metal beast core and looked at Lu Ming eagerly. Lu Ming took out a few more, but they were all finished by the metal ball in a few bites. We can't go on like this. We don't have that many metal beast cores for it to cat. Lu Ming frowned. A metal beast core is actually a kind of refining material. I wonder if this guy will eat other metal attribute relining materials. At the thought of this, a piece of refining material appeared in Lu Ming's hands. 2. Shone with different colors and was made of metals of different attributes. Gotcha. Lu Ming had just taken it out when it was swallowed by the metal ball in one bite. It ate with great relish. It really ate it. This fellow's teeth are really good. So, combat weapon, does it eat it? On second thought, Lu Ming took out another Emperor-level weapon. The metal ball reached out 2 tentacles and grabbed the Emperor-level weapon. It chewed it into pieces in 2 or 3 bites. Then, it shook its round body, as if it was saying that the level of the combat weapon was not high enough and it didn't have enough taste. Lu Ming was speechless. The next moment, a bow and arrow appeared his hands. This was the fallen star bow, an incomplete heavenly Dao soldier. It had given Lu Ming a lot of help when his cultivation level was still weak. The metal ball grabbed it, and with 2 or 3 cracks, it swallowed it. Only then did the metal ball's eyes reveal a hint of satisfaction. I'll give you a few more. Lu Ming took out a few more Heaven's Path soldiers, including the Great Desolation Spear. The Great Desolation Spear had been damaged during the battle with the divine ancestor of the non-human race. Furthermore, to Lu Ming, a Heavenly Dao soldier-level weapon was no longer of any use. He could shatter a Heavenly Dao soldier with a wave of his hand. The metal ball did not reject any of them. It chewed and swallowed the Heaven Dao soldiers one by one. After swallowing them, the metal ball emitted a layer of radiance. It then looked at Lu Ming eagerly. This guy's appet. 1. He is too big. Lu Ming had a headache. Then he gritted his teeth and took out 2 weapons. One was a battle saber and the other was an axe. They were both divine weapons, but they were only level 1 low-grade divine weapons. They were the spoils of war that Lu Ming had obtained from the enemy. In the Battle of Myriad Gold Star, Lu Ming and the rest had each obtained a few divine artifacts. However, the highest was only a level 3 low-grade divine artifact. They did not obtain any level 4 low-grade divine artifacts or above. When saw the 2 level 1 low-quality divine artifacts, the metal ball's eyes lit up, and it grabbed them and started to gnaw on them. This was a divine artifact. Although it was a level 1 low-grade divine artifact, its toughness was extraordinary. Even with Lu Ming's current ability, he would need to put in some effort to destroy it. However, the metal ball could bite off a large piece of it with one bite. It was eating with a fragrant sound. The metal ball was slightly slower in eating the divine artifacts. After half an hour, the metal ball finally destroyed the 2 divine artifacts. Its entire body was glowing, and it had a satisfied expression. This guy, he won't be eating divine weapons often in the future, right? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's face darkened. Every divine weapon was expensive. If he continued to cat like this, he would definitely go bankrupt. However, at the thought that this guy would level up if he ate too much, Lu Ming's heart burned with pause. Shaun. As long as he had enough metal materials and various weapons for the metal ball to eat, it would be able to keep advancing. It would be of great help to him in the future. Let's eat some low-level food first, he'll think of a way. Lu Ming pondered and took out some of the refining materials that he had collected over the years. Over the years, he had collected too many metal forging materials. He had given a portion of them to the Dragon Alliance to forge weapons, but there was still a lot left. However, their levels were not high. Although he only took out a portion of it, it was still piled up like a small mountain. Seeing so much metal materials, the metal ball's eyes lit up and it pounced into the pile of refining materials and began to gobble them up. For the next half a month, Lu Ming stabilized his realm while observing the situation of the metal ball. In the past half a month, the metal ball had almost finished all the refining materials that Lu Ming had collected. However, the metal ball did not show any signs of advancing. It seems that the grade of the materials used is too low. They can't provide enough energy for the metal ball. Lu Ming sighed. Lu Ming guessed that after the metal ball swallowed the metal material, it would be able to absorb the spiritual essence of the metal ball material and improve itself. Only by absorbing enough golden essence could it transform and advance. The energy contained in low-level blacksmithing materials was too little for the metal ball that was already at the second level of the Void G. Oh, D realm, what do we do? Don't tell me you're going to keep feeding the divine artifact? How can I afford to feed it? Lu Ming sighed. Wait. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If a divine artifact couldn't afford to feed him, then he would feed him divine artifact fragments. In the desolate universe, countless people fought each other every day, and countless people went to various forbidden places, dangerous places, and some unknown planets for adventure. They fought and killed each other. Every day, there would be mysterious fragments. When a divine artifact shattered, it would produce mysterious fragments. The metal ball only needed the spiritual essence of the metal. In that case, eating a divine artifact shard and eating a divine artifact were essentially the same. However, the price of a divine artifact fragment was much cheaper than a divine artifact. In fact, the price of a divine artifact fragment was even cheaper than the materials of the same level. This was because refining materials could be used directly for refining. However, if one wanted to reuse a mystical fragment, they would have to first extract the materials from the divine artifact fragment. However, when refining a divine weapon, all kinds of different materials had been completely intertwined and mixed together. It was very difficult to extract them. The cost of labor was also very high, which led to the price of the divine artifact fragments not being very high. I'll go and buy divine artifact fragments. At the thought of this, Lu Ming was overjoyed. He grabbed the metal ball and walked out. The metal ball itself was like a ball of liquid metal. At this moment, it squirmed along Lu Ming's palm and turned into a golden bangle, which Lu Ming wore on his wrist. Not bad, this is not bad. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He turned it into a bracelet and wore it on his wrist to avoid attracting attention. I'll give you a name, Lu Ming said as he looked at the bracelet on his wrist. A pair of eyes immediately appeared on the bangle, looking at Lu Ming with antic. 1. P. Asian. You're round like a ball. I'll call you Chio Chio, how about that? Isn't it good enough? Lu Ming said. The metal ball blinked its eyes. It seemed to like it. Dandan, Bubble, Chio Chio. At the thought of Dandan, Bubbles, and the rest, Lu Ming smiled in his heart. He was quite satisfied with the standard of his own naming. Outside, Lu Ming rose into the air. Not long after, he arrived at the place where the righteous Sky Army traded treasures. 23. Chapter 2598 Yunfeng City. Half an hour later, Lu Ming walked out of the place where the righteous army traded treasures. He frowned slightly. He did buy some divine artifact fragments, but not in large quant. 1. Ties, only equivalent to about 10 divine artifacts. They were all low-level divine artifact fragments, and he had spent 200 divine crystals. These fragments of divine artifacts are not enough. Where should I buy them? Lu Ming pondered. Lu Ming! Suddenly, a crisp voice rang out. Lu Ming looked up and saw Tong Shu. Lu Ming, are you here to buy treasures? Tong Shu flew over with a smile. Yes, but I'm here to buy some fragments of divine artifacts. However, there are too few fragments here. Lu Ming said. Purchase divine artifact fragments? Tong Shi'er's gaze flickered, and she immediately thought of that metal ball. After all, the righteous army isn't big, and they lack powerful refining materials. Therefore, they don't have many divine artifact fragments in storage. Even if many people have divine artifact fragments, they won't sell them here. Tong Shi'er explained. Oh, Miss Shi, then where can I buy a large number of divine artifact fragments? Lu Ming asked. If you want to buy a large number of divine artifact fragments, you can only go to Cloud Peak City. Tong Shi said. Yunfeng City? You mean the Yunfeng City where the Yunfeng Pavilion is located? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The chaotic astral river has an extremely vast territory. It has many life planets. In addition, there are also many planets without any life. There are countless large and small planets in total. Therefore, there were many forces, big and small. For example, there were at least 800 forces like the Righteous Heaven Army and the Yuan Luo Palace. However, among all the powers in the chaotic astral river, the most powerful one is undoubtedly the Yunfeng Pavilion. That was because the Yunfeng Pavilion had a heavenly Ji. Out of all the powers in the chaotic astral river, only the Yunfeng Pavilion has a heavenly deity. Without a doubt, it is the number one power. Yunfeng City, where the Yunfeng Pavilion is located, is the most prosperous place in the chaotic astral river. Here, you can buy many things you want to buy. That's right. I'm also going to Cloud Peak City to buy some pills and prepare to break through to the next realm. We can go together. Tong Shi said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He also wanted to go to Yunfeng City to sell a weapon that he could use. During this period of time, Lu Ming had been using the divine combat sword that Baiya had given him. However, after using it for a long time, Lu Ming felt that the spear was more suitable for him. Although he had cultivated the battle formula and could use any weapon with ease, Lu Ming had just started cultivating and he had already started using a spear. He was used to using a spear. Moreover, Baiya's divine combat sword was only a level 3 low-grade divine weapon. It was still a little too low. Lu Ming wanted to buy a spear of a higher level. He had asked around in the righteous army, but he couldn't find a suitable one. The two of them stepped into the Jiangtian army's teleportation formation and headed toward Yunfeng City. True Sky Star was very far away from Cloud Peak Star, where Cloud Peak City was located. To cross the boundless starry sky, even if one took a teleportation array, it was impossible to reach it in one go. Instead, one would need to teleport multiple times. Furthermore, it was such a long sea teleportation. Even if they took the teleportation array, it would still take a long time. After 3 days of continuous teleportation, they finally arrived at Yunfeng City. What a majestic city! Walking around the streets of Yunfeng City, Lu Ming could not help but sigh. Only after coming to the primeval universe did Lu Ming feel that the heaven realm and the primordial realm were too small. The surface area of the dark underworld star was equivalent to the sum of tens of thousands of heaven realm, primordial realm, and evil D realms. The true heaven star was several times larger than the dark underworld star. However, the Cloud Peak planet, where Cloud Peak City was located, was at least dozens of times larger than the true sky planet. Compared to planet Yunfeng, the heaven realm, the primordial realm, and the evil D realm were simply dust. Just the area of Yunfeng City alone was estimated to be equivalent to the total area of hundreds of heaven realm, primordial realm, and evil D realms combined. One could imagine how huge it was. Cloud Peak City was extremely lively. All the powers of the chaotic astral river, big and small, could come here. Chaotic astral river is extremely chaotic. Killing can be seen everywhere, but Cloud Peak City is an exception. The Yunfeng Pavilion had a rule. Yunfeng City was a place for business, and killing was not allowed. If one wanted to kill, they had to go to a specific fighting stage. Whoever violated the rule would be hunted down by the Yunfeng Pavilion. As such, Cloud Peak City was extremely safe. This was the only way to attract countless people to do business, trade, buy treasures, or sell treasures. If it wasn't safe, they could kill him and steal his treasures at any time. Who would dare to come? Therefore, the two of them were more at ease and walked around casually. 2 days later, the two of them arrived at the largest city square in Yunfeng City. There was a sea of people here, and there were all kinds of shops. There were all kinds of materials, elixirs, weapons, and treasures. There were even divine skills for sale. Lu Ming went in to take a look. The price was shockingly high. Lu Ming could not afford even the lowest grade level 1 divine skill. It would cost at least tens of thousands of divine crystals. At a divine elixir store, Tong Shi-er bought the divine elixirs she needed. She had already ACCU, Mulat enough, and when she returned, she could break through to the second level of the Void G.O.D realm. Then they came to a shop that sold artifacts. "Dear customer, may I know what you need?" Immediately, a beautiful young lady came up to him. "Hello, I need to buy a spear-type artifact." Lu Ming smiled. "A spear-type divine weapon? What level do you need? I can recommend it to you." The young woman said with a smile. "A level 5 low-grade G.O.D equipment or above." Lu Ming said. "All right, please follow me." The young woman brought Lu Ming to a room. There were all kinds of long spears and divine artifacts hanging in the room. "This is a level 5 low-grade G.D artifact, Hurricane Spear. It's worth 3,000 G crystals." "This is a low-grade level 6 G.O.D artifact, the Raging Flame Spear. It's priced at 7,000 G.O.D crystals." The lady introduced them to Lu Ming one by one. "What an expensive price." Lu Ming sighed. "And NBSP, a level 5 low-quality G.O.D artifact, cost 3,000 G.O.D crystals. Low-grade divine weapons corresponded to ethereal G.O.D realm. Usually, ethereal G.O.D realm warriors would use low-grade divine weapons, while true G.O.D realm warriors would use middle-grade divine weapons. And NBSP and so on, the divine kings used supreme-quality divine artifacts. One had to know that on the Myriad Gold Star, a 5th-level Void G.O.D realm beast core was only worth 80 divine crystals. And NBSP, a low-level 5 G.O.D artifact spear, on the other hand, would cost 3,000 G.O.D crystals. Of course, refining a divine weapon required more than one type of material. It required the combination of many materials and the cost of the refining. In the end, Lu Ming chose a spear that was a level 6 low-grade divine artifact, the Meteor Spear, and spent 7,000 divine crystals on it. "There aren't enough divine crystals." Lu Ming sighed. Previously, when he broke through to the 4-star Heavenly Emperor realm, he had used about 5,000 divine crystals. Now, he had spent another 7,000 divine crystals. Now, he only had 28,000 divine crystals left. Chapter 2599. Meeting Kong Long again. "Miss, do you sell fragments of divine artifacts here?" Lu Ming put away the Meteor Spear and asked again. "Of course I do. What level of divine artifact fragment do you need?" "Different levels of fragments of divine artifacts have different prices." The young woman said. "A fragment of a low-grade divine artifact. Any grade will do," Lu Ming said. Then, under the young lattice introduction, Lu Ming bought a large number of divine artifact fragments. As expected of Cloud Peak City, there were many divine artifact fragments here. It could be said that they were piled up like a mountain. Moreover, the price was indeed cheap. Not to mention divine artifacts, even compared to the materials used for forging artifacts, it was much cheaper. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and spent another 10,000 divine crystals to buy a large pile of refining materials of various levels. It was enough for Chiu to eat for a period of time. Lu Ming's divine crystals had shrunk again. He only had 18,000 pieces left. I need to find a way to earn some divine crystals. Lu Ming muttered. 18,000 divine crystals weren't enough for him. As his cultivation increased, he would need more divine crystals to break through in the future. The two of them had bought everything they needed. They walked out of the shop and planned to take the teleportation array back. Tong Shi and you kid? Suddenly, an ear-piercing voice filled with resentment rang out. Lu Ming turned around and could not help but sneer. What a coincidence, he met an old acquaintance. Behind them were two young men. One of them was the young master of the Yuanluo Palace, Kong Long. Kong Long was glaring at Lu Ming with hatred. Back then, he was captured by Lu Ming and later handed over to the Righteous Sky Army as a hostage in exchange. He regarded this matter as a great humiliation. He hated Lu Ming to the core and always wanted to take revenge on Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming was hiding in the Righteous Army and he had no choice. He did not expect to meet him in Yunfeng City. Kong Long's Sidu Xiao. Tong Xier's eyes flashed as she recognized the two of them. Brat, I'll tear you into pieces sooner or later. Kong Long's eyes were cold and filled with killing intent. He glared at Lu Ming. If it were not for the fact that they were in Yunfeng City and killing was forbidden, he would have crushed Lu Ming's bones and scattered his ashes long ago. A defeated opponent dares to talk big here. Who doesn't know how to brag? Lu Ming cast a sidelong glance at Kong Long, his eyes filled with contempt. You. At the thought of being captured and imprisoned by Lu Ming for months, Kong Long was furious. He gritted his teeth and looked at Lu Ming's disdainful expression. He wanted to slap Lu Ming to death. Boom! A powerful aura burst out from Kong Long's body and pressed down on Lu Ming. First level Void G. Oh, D Realm. It was obvious that Kong Long had made a breakthrough from Demi G. Oh, D level to Virtual G. Oh, D level. The commotion here attracted the attention of the passers-by, who looked over as if they were watching a show. If you want to fight, come. Lu Ming curled his finger. He did not believe that Kong Long would dare to make a move in Yunfeng City. If he did, he would be courting death. Kid, I challenge you now. Let's fight on the fighting ring. Kong Long glared at Lu Ming. I'm not interested in a defeated opponent. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Kong Long was so angry that he almost exploded. Taking a few deep breaths, Kong Long managed to calm himself down and said, You're the one who doesn't dare. Back then, he felt that he had been too careless when he lost to Lu Ming. Moreover, he had now broken through to first-tier Void G. Oh, D level and his combat strength had increased tremendously. He was fully confident that he could easily suppress Lu Ming. You don't have to provoke me. I'm really not interested in my defeated opponent. If there's nothing else, don't block the way. Lu Ming waved his hands casually. He was speaking the truth. Kong Long was only at the first level of the Void G. Oh, D realm. He could easily suppress him. He was not interested. However, Lu Ming kept calling him a defeated opponent. To Kong Long, it was the greatest insult to him. His face was red, and he gritted his teeth. If you don't want to fight with Brother Kong, then he'll challenge you. Do you dare to fight? The young man beside Kong Long spoke. The man's face was fair and clean, and he was waving a folding fan in his hand. He always had a confident smile on his face. Lu Ming, this man is the young sect master of the Walkabout sect, Sidu Xiao. He's at the second level of the Void G. Oh, D realm. Tong Shi sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. The Walkabout sect was a force that was as powerful as the Yuan Luo Palace and the Righteous Army. You want to challenge me? Lu Ming looked at Sidu Xiao. That's right, do you dare? If you don't dare, I won't make things difficult for you. Sidu Xiao said with a fake smile. To be honest, I'm not interested in you at all. With your cultivation, I can easily suppress you. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Sidu Xiao's eyelids kept twitching, and the folding fan that he had been fanning also stopped. A wisp of cold killing intent burst out from his eyes. Lu Ming actually said that he could suppress him with a flip of his hand? It was simply a huge joke. He could clearly feel that Lu Ming was only at the transformation void martial stage. A transformation void martial stage actually dared to speak so arrogantly. He was simply courting death. However, if you dare to make a bet with me, I can fight you. Lu Ming paused for a moment before he continued. Bet? How do we bet? Situ Xiao said. Well, bet 20,000 divine crystals. Well, each take out 20,000 divine crystals. Whoever wins will take the others 20,000 divine crystals. How about it? Lu Ming said. 20,000 divine crystals. Situ Xiao's expression changed slightly. 20,000 yuan was not a small amount. What, you don't dare to bet? Then forget it. Lu Ming had a look of contempt on his face. He turned around and was about to leave. I'll bet 20,000 yuan. Situ Xiao said. He didn't think he would lose, so he agreed. All right, then let's go to the battle stage. Lu Ming said. Immediately, Lu Ming, Tong Shi, Kong Long, and Situ Xiao went to the nearby fighting ring. Let's go and take a look. That young man is only at the transformation void martial stage, but he dares to challenge a second-level ethereal G. Oh, D realm heaven's favorite. Interesting. The people nearby followed Lu Ming and the rest. Soon, they arrived at a nearby fighting ring. The fighting ring was surrounded by people. Take out 20,000 divine crystals. I need a middleman to make sure you don't go back on your word. Lu Ming looked at Situ Xiao. How can I lose? What a joke. Situ Xiao sneered. That's hard to say. How do you know if you haven't fought? Lu Ming smiled faintly and looked around. Which senior can be the middleman? This old man will do it. A silver-haired old man walked out, and he gave off a powerful aura. 9th level Void G. Of the realm. On the side, many people's expressions changed. In the chaotic astral river, those at the true G. O. D realm were definitely experts. Those at the 9th level of the Void G. O. D realm were the backbone of many forces. All right, thank you, senior. Lu Ming Pas said a storage ring to the silver-haired elder. There were 20,000 divine crystals in it. Lu Ming's original divine crystals were not enough for 20,000 pieces. On the way, he borrowed 2,000 more from Tong Shi. Chapter 2600 Kneel down. Oof, that's good too. Situ Xiao snorted and took out a storage ring as well, handing it over to the silver-haired old man. The silver-haired old man scanned the area with his spiritual sense and then said, 20,000 divine crystals each. There's no mistake. Whoever wins will get these divine crystals. Kid, come on stage. Situ Xiao said coldly as he stepped onto the fighting ring. Lu Ming also flew onto the platform and stood opposite Situ Xiao. That young man is only at the transformation void martial stage, but he actually dared to fight against a second-level void G. O. D stage existence. Could it be that he has something to rely on? I can't figure it out. The difference between the transformation void martial stage and the ethereal G. O. D realm is too big. Even the Heaven's Pride experts can't cross such a big realm to challenge someone. His opponent is Situ Xiao. I've heard of him before. He's also a Heaven's favorite who has mastered king-grade divine power. In that case, that young man is bound to lose? I don't know. I can't figure it out either. Let's see. Many people in the surroundings were discussing. However, most of them felt that Lu Ming was definitely not his match. After all, the void transformation realm was only the first step of cultivation, while the virtual G. O. D realm was the second step. Only one step away, but the difference was like the difference between heaven and earth. Only those heaven-defying geniuses could possibly cross the gap. However, how could a small place like the chaotic astral river have such a heaven's favorite? However, there was also a group of people who felt that Lu Ming was very confident. Since he dared to accept the challenge, he should have something to rely on. They were very curious about what exactly Lu Ming was relying on. Everyone was staring at the two people on the fighting ring. Kid, it'll make you kneel in 3 moves. A thick killing intent flashed in Situ Xiao's eyes. His figure flashed and he appeared in front of Lu Ming like a flash of light. He raised one hand and pressed down. Divine power whistled and pressed down on Lu Ming like Mount Tai. He wanted to force Lu Ming to his knees on the spot. Situ Xiao was very confident. He was a heaven's favorite and had king-grade divine power. He was much stronger than other experts of the same level. Even second-level Void G.O.D. realm experts couldn't withstand this move. However, Lu Ming's expression did not change at all. He pointed his fingers like a sword and stabbed them towards Situ Xiao's palm. "You're looking for death? Then I'll break your fingers." Situ Xiao grinned hideously and increased his strength. Bang! Lu Ming's finger and Situ Xiao's palm collided with each other, creating a violent boom. A figure was forced to take 5 or 6 steps back before he could regain his balance. The one who retreated was naturally Situ Xiao. How is that possible? Many people in the surroundings were shocked. Lu Ming had actually forced Situ Xiao to retreat with one move. This was beyond everyone's expectations. A transformation void martial stage forced back a second-level Void G.O.D. stage heaven's favorite with one move. This was simply unbelievable. I think Situ Xiao underestimated his opponent and didn't use his full strength. But this is still extremely shocking. Someone sighed. At this moment, Situ Xiao was also shocked. There was a sharp pain in his palm where Lu Ming's finger had pierced. He had indeed underestimated his opponent just now and had only used 70% of his power. However, it was still extremely shocking. One had to know that he controlled king-grade divine power. This kid is a monster. I'll cripple him today. Situ Xiao roared in his heart. He unleashed all his strength and charged toward Lu Ming. Good. Lu Ming was not afraid at all. He burst out with all his might as well. His entire body was covered in a dazzling purple-gold radiance as he charged towards Situ Xiao. Boom, boom, boom. The two of them continued to clash and fought fiercely. For a moment, it was difficult to determine the winner. Although Situ Xiao was only at the second level of the Void G.O.D. realm, his divine power was king-grade divine power. It was very dense and condensed, and his attack power was very strong. His strength was enough to fight against an existence at the third level of the Void G.O.D. realm. On the other hand, Lu Ming had the cultivation base of a 4-star heavenly emperor. Without activating the battle character formula that doubled his combat strength, he could also fight with a third-level Void G.O.D. realm existence. Therefore, it was difficult to determine the winner between the two of them. It seems like even king-grade divine power has a difference in strength. As they fought, Lu Ming was thinking. Tong Shi also controlled king-grade divine power. However, Lu Ming felt that if they were at the same level, Tong Shi would be stronger than Situ Xiao. There were also strong and weak king-grade divine powers. Bang, bang, bang. The two of them exchanged dozens of moves, but it was still difficult to determine the winner. How is that possible? How can he be this strong? Situ Xiao roared in his heart. At this moment, he was a little anxious. He did not want Lu Ming to kneel now. He was thinking about how to win. Otherwise, he would lose 20,000 divine crystals. Below the fighting ring, the most shocked person was Kong Long. His face was as white as snow, without a trace of blood, and he kept muttering, "How is that possible? How could this kid be so strong? Can it?" At the same time, he felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not agree to fight with him. Otherwise, he would have been defeated miserably. I hope Situ Xiao can defeat him. Kong Long prayed in his heart. Unfortunately, his wish was destined to come to nothing. Is this all you've got? Then let's end this. Lu Ming's voice was heard. At the same time, his strength suddenly soared. The double combat power of the battle formula was activated. After activating the doubling of combat strength, Lu Ming's combat strength was enough to fight with a 4th-level Void G.O.D. realm existence. How could Situ Xiao be a match for him? Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch, and the terrifying force of his fist crushed towards Situ Xiao with the force of a mountain. Gotcha! Situ Xiao's arm was broken by Lu Ming's fist force. He retreated rapidly and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward and continued to attack. Situ Xiao took out a divine weapon to counterattack, but he was sent flying by Lu Ming with a few moves. Kneel down. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He raised his hand and pressed down. The power of domination condensed into a huge palm and pressed down on Situ Xiao. Situ Xiao roared and mustered all his strength to resist. However, he was no match for Lu Ming and could not withstand his power. Boom! The powerful force acted on Situ Xiao's body. His body arched and with a final thud, he knelt on the ground in front of Lu Ming. Ah! Situ Xiao roared madly. He was the young master of the Walkabout sect, and yet he was kneeling in front of Lu Ming. He was so mad with hatred that he wanted to grind Lu Ming's bones and scatter his ashes. What are you shouting for? A loss is a loss, what's the use of shouting? Lu Ming berated him. With a wave of his palm, Situ Xiao's body flew out of the fighting ring. He spat out a mouthful of blood and could not get up for a long time. Lu Ming did not kill Situ Xiao as it was unnecessary. And if he really killed Situ Xiao, free and unfettered sect would probably go crazy and attack the righteous army with all their might, which would be disadvantageous to them. He lost. Situ Xiao actually lost. A transformation void martial artist can actually defeat a second-level void G. Oh, D Realm Heaven's favorite. How is this possible? The power of a ruler. It's the power of a ruler. He controls the power of a ruler. What? It's the power of a ruler. No wonder. The scene was noisy. Many people recognized Lu Ming's power. It was the power of domination. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.